What's up, everybody? Sorry about that. I got a little carried away with that intro. I hope it doesn't get me struck, because I saw it and I was like, "This is awesome." So I just had to. I had to do it. Let's say what's up, everybody. What's up? I have a special guest here tonight. Going to join me for the show. Maybe for all of it, maybe for some of it. I don't know. Didn't really talk about it, but he can stay as long as he wants, unless we vote him off the island, kind of like Survivor. We'll see. So here he is. Let's see. Oh, there he. Oh,
what's up?
What's up? How's it going? This is Derek.
What's happening, everybody?
Tell everybody about yourself a little bit there, Derek.
Well, I'm originally from Michigan. Did all my schooling in Michigan. Was in LA for 10 years. Worked on reality shows, independent films. I produced and directed my own independent film called The Warrior 2 years ago, and it's currently making the rounds in the platforms and everything as far as being able to stream it. And then I have a YouTube channel called Frames and Rhythm. We got 300 subs, so yeah, we're slowly but surely climbing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We're going to talk about some news tonight, but first I got to see who's here and say hello to a few people. We have Jules says, I'll be catching the replay, but I hope you have a great show. Jules, it's great. I'm always happy for you to catch the replays, and you put the nice comments in there, and you make me feel good and make me feel like I'm actually doing some good here, and I appreciate that. And we got G.S. Harkman. How you doing, buddy? Got Brian Ogden. What's up, Brian? Do family members show up for funerals to parade themselves? I don't know. We got Choosy here, which it says exile the Kings of Malta now. Knights of Malta now, I don't know. But then the other Gygax, what's up? And then here's Derek says, hey, what's up, chat? And then we got None Your Business. Catherine K. Hey, Jim and Jim Somniacs. We got Trumpinator. Yo, and hey. And then Michelle. What's up, Michelle? How you doing? Terry, how you doing? Nanny Goat, what's up? Steve Hilliard, what's up? I am Bob. And then Trumpinator comes in hard with $10. And then Brian Ogden says, here's a Jim Tells You gifted membership. So with that, we are already, looks like $16 into the into the old Bannerooski, into the goals. That's how they say it here. And so we're going to do this, hide, come up, do this. Then we're going to say $59, right? That's 60. Yeah, $59, right? That's what I said, 59. We're $59 away from an additional hour or Bellavision, whichever comes first. If we get $25 donation, either like 5 gifted memberships or, $25 on PayPal, Cash App, Rumble Rants, Super Chats. I'm trying. I'm going to get it one of these days. I'll have the toe down. But thank you, Trumpinator. Marjorie, what's up? Rachel Boone, how you doing? Sunshine, how you doing? Nix, what's up? Saxon, how you doing? The Sunshine, did I say hi? Hey, how you doing, CB? Rudd, what's up? Janet Hill, Linda, how you doing? All right, yeah. So everybody knows that's the way the show goes. Is we do about 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, usually 2.5 hours. And if we hit the $75, then I add an hour, and then for every $75, I add another hour. And we could go all night, or we could go for 2.5 hours. It really doesn't matter. We'll see. Big news tonight. Big news. So what's it say? $6.99 and $9.99 isn't $16. Is it? No, it's $5.99 and $9.99, isn't it, Brian Ogden? Isn't it $5? It's not $6.99. It's $5.99. Here, I will go check right now. It'll say gifted membership gifting. It's $5.99. Not $6.99, $5.99. So, yeah, you almost got me. You almost tricked me, but you didn't. Anyway, so that's where we're at. And don't forget, $25 donation across any platform, Cash App, Rumble Rant, Super Chats, whatever. 5 gifted memberships on either Rumble or YouTube would be an automatic Bellavision for the evening. Check here. Nope. All right. Oh, there's Brian Ogden now with the $2 to say, here's $2. I want my $2. And so that means we are now $57 away from the first additional hour. Thank you very much, Brian. All right, well, let's get into this first story here. Let's pull this up. Do this. There we go. You're still counting toes? Well, yeah. So we'll see. Anyway. Love some here. So, breaking news from Rapid 7. It says, George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison. I started to think that George when the subject of Democrat Senator Rick Da Nang Dick Blumenthal came up again. As everyone remembers, Da Nang stated for almost 20 years that he was a proud Vietnam veteran, having endured the worst of the war. Watching the wounded and the dead as he raced up the hills and down the valleys, blood streaming from his face, he was a great hero. He would leak to any and all who would listen. And then it happened. He was a complete and total fraud. He never went to Vietnam. He never saw Vietnam. He never experienced the battles there or anywhere else. His war hero status, even his minimal service in our military, was a total, complete, made-up farce. It was a joke. It was a scam. It was fucking what's known as stolen valor. This is far worse than what George Santos did. At least Santos had the courage and conviction and intelligence to always vote Republican. George has been in solitary confinement for long stretches of time and by all accounts has been horribly mistreated. Therefore, I just signed a commutation releasing George from prison immediately. Good luck, George. Have a great life. Yeah, George kind of got screwed, is what my opinion is, because of who he was and weak Republicans, basically. Not wanting to rock the boat. No, wrong way. Not wanting to rock the boat. So yeah. So that's why. There we go. So that's why he got screwed over, and so he's getting commuted. They commuted a sentence. He stole money. But did he steal money? I mean, I don't know if he really did or didn't. That's the thing. Like, it was said, like, people were giving donations, but then maybe they overcharged the credit cards, but then the people said they don't remember. I don't know. I don't think he did anything worse than what Act Blue did.
Is he the one that was booted out of Congress, like, real fast?
Yeah, real fast. They didn't like him because he said, he said he was Jewish.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you're not Jewish. He said, no, I never said I was Jewish. I said I'm Jewish.
But yeah, some of the other people are in there, like Nancy Pelosi. And then, what's his name? Fell the other day when they were talking to him.
Oh, yeah, he fell. I think he broke another hip. Well, listen, I know George Santos did. He stole money. He is a criminal. But 7 years for what he did, when you consider that the guy who tried to kill fucking Kavanaugh only got 8 years, kind of seems like maybe
a little different.
Little different. When you think about, it's basically there's disparate treatment of depending on if you're Republican or Democrat.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so that's all Trump is trying to do is correct it. Like if they would have gave the guy like 2 years or something, it wouldn't have commuted a sentence. He's already served a year. So it's not like, he's already served a year, so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't deserve 7 years, no. A couple 2 years probably. I mean, it was like 40 grand or something, 50 grand, from what I understand. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, what's up, Pat Hacker? How you doing? But yeah. Didn't he steal a dog? I don't know. There was something about an animal, if I remember correctly. Like that. But anyway, so yeah, he's getting his sentence commuted. And this guy says, hey, why you got the pardoning pen out?
It's not a pardon. Riots, right? If he gets,
there would be major riots. But honestly, I think he got shafted.
I think he did. Too.
I do. I think he got shafted. I mean, George Floyd died of a drug overdose. He did. I mean, it looked shitty, and it looked horrible what happened and everything. But they kind of kept playing it over and over again. The same little section saying it's where is Bella? Bella is here, but I did not. Unless I'm mistaken. Hold on. Unless I'm mistaken, I did not. No one activated Bellavision. I'll look. I don't see I don't see a thing here. Let me double check. I will double check PayPal and Cash App just to make sure. No, not on Cash App. I'll double check PayPal. Nothing on PayPal. So, yeah, no. Bella is here. Where can he put Bella anyway? Well, there's always a spot for Bella. There would always be a spot for Bella, but, it's just, Bella, Bella's got to get paid. What she says. She got to get paid.
Those bones ain't cheap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bella isn't free. She works for biscuits. Yeah.
Somebody was on.
You see the side of her?
Somebody was on X today saying that it's George Floyd's birthday today or something, and I'm just like, what, a criminal? And of course, everybody like lost their mind. It's like, why can't we stop lying? You know what I mean? Like, why do we have to keep lying and lying and lying and lying?
I don't know anybody that celebrated George Floyd's death the way that the left celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, but people did say, hey, the guy kind of died of a drug overdose. It's horrible. It looks horrible, whatever. But
did you watch the trial back in the day?
I watched some of it, but it wasn't like something you could really follow because like they know for a fact that a guy got onto the jury that was an activist that participated, that lied and stuff. I mean, there's all types of stuff, but just nobody wants to touch it because they're afraid of riots.
And that's not the way we're same video.
Yeah, that's not the way we're supposed to live, though, in this country. We're supposed to be like,
And then when they asked for a fair trial, for them to move the trial so they could get a fair trial, they said no, and then
But they basically said there's nowhere in this state that you could have the trial that it would be fair. It's like, well, then you shouldn't have a trial then.
Yeah.
But that's if there's nowhere you can have a fair trial, then you don't have a trial.
Yeah.
That's generally how that works. Checking here.
But I'm not going to say that, a few weeks later, when they had the George Floyd memorial, it got struck by lightning. Just saying, somebody's watching.
Yeah. No, that was basically because they kind of did make them, it was like idolatry. They did,
they made him a martyr and all this other stuff. Yeah.
So here, President Trump commutes the sentence of former GOP rep George Santos. President Trump on Friday commuted the sentence of the former rep. Santos has been a target of Democrats and rhinos since he won his election in New York in 2022. On Friday, Trump said Santos would immediately be released from prison. Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison. This is basically, we read this. This is the statement from Trump. This is far worse than what Santos did. At least Santos had the courage to always vote Republican. Okay, so we read that. Former Congressman Santos pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts of wire fraud and identity theft in August 2024. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Santos was previously hit with a 23-count superseding indictment. They wanted that seat. That's what this was all about. The Democrats wanted the seat. Mm-hmm. They wanted him out. They knew if he got out that they would win the special election because it was like a weird timing thing in 2022 for him to win. And it was later, He allegedly filed a fraudulent fundraising reports with the FTC to obtain financial support for his campaign. Didn't the Clintons do that? Didn't Hillary Clinton file fraudulent reports? Didn't she have to pay a huge fine? She didn't go to prison. No. Didn't Stacey Abrams? We talked about that last night. Stacey Abrams filed false reports. She didn't go to prison.
And she's embezzled hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. And then and he repeatedly charged the credit cards of campaign contributors without authorization. Okay, now that I have a problem with. Okay, if you stole from contributors, that's scummy. Give the money back, or maybe go to prison. But 7 years is kind of a long time, considering we had that guy who murdered that kid that got out after 10. It was like stabbed that kid in the head.
Yeah.
So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Santos allegedly led multiple additional fraudulent criminal schemes, lying to the American public in the process. All fucking politicians lie. They all do. Yeah. And the FBI is committed to upholding the laws in our electoral process. Anyone who attempts to violate the law as part of a political campaign will face punishment. Really, Hillary Clinton went to jail for the whole thing that she did with the smashing the phones and the bleach bit and all this stuff. And no, she didn't.
The servers.
Yeah, the servers. That never happened, yeah. So, Santos was charged and arrested in May 2023 after a federal jury reached a 13-count, grand jury reached a 13-count indictment. He was charged with 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of theft of public funds. According to the indictment reviewed by the pundit, Santos was overcharged by zealous government prosecutors. He was hit with 5 counts for wire fraud for engaging in a political contribution solicitation scheme. So for asking for political contributions, he was hit with wire fraud. So he spoke to the press outside and said, "I failed you." Yeah. No, this guy, I don't know. Let's see.
I'm taking responsibility because I have to. There's no other way around it. To my family, friends, and supporters, and the people of New York's 3rd Congressional District, I offer my deepest apologies. It has been the proudest achievement of my life to represent you.
And that's another thing too. I wanted to point out that they booted him out of Congress before he was ever convicted, which they're not supposed to do.
Yeah,
they're not. They're not supposed to kick you out of Congress until you're convicted. I mean, there's precedent. There's been many a Democrat who's been indicted and didn't leave. I mean, remember the senator from New Jersey, Bob Menendez? He didn't resign. They didn't kick him out. And then Traficante was indicted numerous times. The guy with the weird hair, if you remember the guy, like in the 70s and 80s.
How about the dude that pulled the fire alarm?
Yeah, Bowman. Yeah, he was. So I mean, it's not a.
They wanted to see because it was lightning fast. Like within
it was like big, but
yep.
But yeah, it was several Rhino Republicans that sided with the Democrats to boot him out. It was ridiculous. It says Congress certainly doesn't work. Last budget was passed in '97. Well, if dude showed up to work at physical therapy department with that face, I would fire him on the spot. He ain't pushing an empty wheelchair with those eyes. What are you talking about?
I mean, that's the only credit that I can give Bill Clinton is he did balance the budget. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it was balanced. It was trickery. It wasn't really balanced. It was bookkeeping trickery because it was only balanced for like 2 weeks. It was they moved. That's all it was. Seriously, it was him and Newt Gingrich. They got together. They came up with this plan, and we're going to say we balanced the budget. And it was balanced for about 2 weeks. That was it, and then it was right out of balance again. So yeah, he says was balanced a week. Yeah, it was like 2 weeks, a week or 2 weeks, and it was like, and that's all it was. It was trickery. It was. Yeah, Newt balanced the budget. Well, yeah, but it was It was still trickery. I'm going to give you one. They did it. They worked together to pull the wool over all our eyes, basically. So let's hear what else Santos has to say.
And I believe I did so to the best of my abilities. But you also trusted me to represent you with honor and to uphold the values that are essential to our democracy. And in that regard, I failed you. I know that my actions have caused disappointment, frustration, and a loss of faith in me, and for that I'm truly sorry. I also want to acknowledge the many people who have stood by me during this difficult time, my family, friends, and legal team. Your support has been a source of strength, and I am determined to repay your faith in me by becoming a better person. Moving forward, I am dedicated to making amends for the wrongs I have committed. I understand that there are legal consequences for my actions, and I accept them fully. This plea is not just an admission of guilt, it's an acknowledgement that I need to be held accountable, like any other American that breaks the law. I hope that by facing these consequences head on, I can begin to demonstrate my commitment to change and to earning your forgiveness. I do not ask for forgiveness, as I know that must be earned through actions, not words. I want to be a part of restoring the integrity that I helped diminish, and I will work tirelessly to regain the trust of those I have let down. As I move forward, I am committed.
I don't think. I mean, I think he's done in politics. I don't think see him come back to politics. But I don't. I do think he probably will be in the news again at some point where he will fuck up again because this guy basically. I think he has a history of this type of stuff, like basically being like a phony or
like
a fraud,
scam artist,
like a scam artist type of thing. Yeah, I think it was like a. But Trump is he's always been a fan of the scammier type of things. Trump steaks, Trump water, Trump schools. I don't know, and people don't get pissed at me. I'm happy with Trump. He's a great president. I like him. Great. But I think I can laugh at the stuff and go, dude, what are you doing? I mean, he will sell anything. He'll put his name on anything and sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll write a book. Yeah. He's a sociopath. Yeah. Trump does love scammers. Yeah, he does. He's like, hey, you know what? Because they're go-getters. He thinks, they're out there, they're doing something. They're trying to get ahead. I mean, you got to kind of be a scammer to sell real estate in New York.
Yeah, he got Kwame Kilpatrick out of prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. He does it. He does all types of stuff. All types of stuff. Oh, yeah, so there's more to this. So, yeah. So, oh no, that was it. That was it on that story. So, It is. Then from the AP, it just says Trump commutes the sentence. Yeah, and I think this guy was a drag queen too.
Really?
Yeah, I think like before, like there was pictures of him like in drag and stuff like that. Like I know he's gay and everything, like if I'm boy gay, but I think he was also a drag queen. If I'm wrong, someone correct me, but I can swear that's what came out. Like, yes, okay. Brian says yes, he was okay.
So the Democrats actively got rid of a drag queen?
Yeah, like they hate, like they prove they're racist. But it's not, you heard about this. You heard about I mean, I talked about it last night, but the NAACP argued to the Supreme Court that white Democrats are racist and won't vote for black people. That's why they have to do these racial gerrymanders because of white Democrats.
Oh, geez.
Because they pointed out, they started naming the districts with the black Republicans. They're like, well, this is a majority white district as a black Republican. This is a majority white district as a black Republican. This is a majority. Like, how is this? Well, white Democrats, they won't vote for black. Like, oh, so the Democrats are still the party of racists. Okay.
I mean,
I thought they switched. Okay.
We can't
Y'all
go
liars.
down the history, and the Democrats do have a lot of stuff that they started. One of them starts with a K.
Yeah. And ends in a K.
And
It's got a K right there in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, and then she said that, the Ketanji Brown Jackson said that black people are disabled. They have disabilities, being black. It's a disability.
Oh, my God.
That's what she said. The same thing as being in a wheelchair, she said. Yeah, she said it. I didn't say that. I don't believe that. I think it's disgusting especially for a sitting Supreme Court justice to say something as gross and disgusting as that. I mean, that's like taking us back to like Plessy versus Ferguson.
She's a hood. She's a hood rat as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. So it says he reported to the Correction Institute in Southern Jersey on July 25th and is being housed on minimum security prison camp with fewer than 50 other inmates. Oh, wait a minute. I thought they said he was in solitary. Anyway, so he hasn't been in this year or last year? Just this year he reported, or last year? Because if he's only been in it just July, August, September, he's only been in a couple of months, I would have made him sit a little while longer. So that's the first story of the evening, was Trump pardoning or giving George Santos, clemency, commuting his sentence, basically. Just he's still convicted felon and all that stuff.
It's basically time served.
You just get out. You don't have to, no more sentence.
Yeah.
I think he still would have to pay any restitution or anything like that, if I'm not mistaken.
And he's not pardoned, so it's still on his record.
Right, it's still on his record or something like that. All right, and so then, and President Trump, on to the next story now. President Trump has asked the Supreme Court to intervene and allow the National Guard to be deployed in Chicago. And Amy Coney Barrett responds. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett did not immediately order an administrative stay. She ordered Illinois officials to respond by Monday, which is ridiculous. She should have immediately stayed it. Like, what are you thinking? This is beyond ridiculous that a judge... we got a lot of crazy shit going on with judges, basically, trying to order, telling ICE, like any immigration agent has to wear a body cam. You don't have that authority, Judge. Congress sets the rules for these federal law officers, not a judge.
Yeah.
And
then the Supreme Court has already ruled on it, right? So they're basically going over the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court has already ruled on. This is already proven, well-established law. The president can federalize the National Guard and send them wherever he wants. This judge said, well, I can't stop the president from federalizing the National Guard because that's been ruled on, but I'm going to stop him from deploying them. What? That's kind of like the whole commander-in-chief thing. He's the commander-in-chief. He gets to do what he wants. And,
These people don't know what laws are or what the Constitution is.
Yeah, they don't. So one day after a federal appeals court skewered Trump's claims of an ongoing rebellion in Illinois, the president goes to the Supreme Court to regain the power to put the National Guard on the street to quiet protests and unrest. So they're saying there has to be I personally think, especially with the comments that have been made by Commie Johnson and Prickster, that there is a rebellion in Illinois. There is an open rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see how the No King's Day goes. Well, this is going to show you if the No King's Day goes off without any violence or any problems, like any major violence or any problems, that's just proof that the Democrats do control Antifa. That they can, they are in control of them.
I watched part of a video today where they were trying to say who was funding Antifa.
Oh, the money's coming from all over the place. It's coming from Soros. It's coming from USAID. It's coming from China. Oh no, because it's not a mass ideal. What that means. Yeah, so Friday he asked the Supreme Court to intervene and allow the National Guard troops to be deployed. As previously reported, the federal appeals court on Thursday upheld a Biden judge's block on Trump's National Guard troop deployment to Chicago. The judge last Thursday issued a temporary restraining order blocking Trump's National Guard deployment. U.S. District Judge April Perry, a Biden appointee, said Trump's troop deployment violates the Posse Comitatus Act, as well as the 10th and 14th Amendments, which is fucking ridiculous. It does not. Posse Comitatus just means you can't have the guard out doing law enforcement. But all he was going to do is have them guard buildings, which is what they do. And they've done throughout history in this country. They've sent the guard to do things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a King's protest in my little city, and it's gonna be about 15 old ladies about 70 years old.
So President Trump mobilized the Texas National Guard and sent them to Chicago to protect the ICE agents from violent far-left Antifa terrorists. National Guard's mission in Chicago is to protect federal lives and property that are facing constant criminal assault. The Guard protecting DHS is activated under federal control, and therefore, like any federal troops, can emanate from any state if such resource proves necessary to DHS, the way troops are pulled from any base. They are operating as a federal force protecting federal assets. White House advisor Stephen Miller previously said Chicago and Illinois are committing a crime against every other state by obstructing ICE in order to facilitate this foreign criminal invasion across the entire United States. So last Saturday, the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals lifted Judge Perry's temporary restraining order on Trump's mobilization of National Guard troops. However, the Seventh Circuit left in place Judge Perry's block on troop deployment in a one-page order. It says, yeah, you can activate them, but you can't deploy them.
That's so stupid.
They're playing word games. The problem is that if the Supreme Court isn't going to actually step in and do something and start stopping this abuse, basically these judges who are way outside of their bounds, they're just judges that are supposed to judge the law. They don't have the power to overrule the president. It doesn't work that way. That's not that's not how this country works. That's not the way it is. What overrules the president is he can be impeached or he's voted out of office. That's what overrules the president, basically. I mean, that's it. That's the check. What's the check on this judge when they do what they're doing? I guess impeachment.
I don't understand how they're get away with it without no recourse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know how it's not. I don't know how it's not becoming a problem. A little better. That's better. Do this because that way my face isn't behind that money raising thing. So yeah. And then on Thursday, the Seventh Circuit unanimously upheld Judge Perry's order blocking Trump's troop deployment. The three-judge panel included George H.W. Bush and Obama and a George W. Bush appointee. Oh, what do you know? So, three communists. The appeals court judges agreed that Judge Perry's assertion that there was insufficient evidence of rebellion or a danger of rebellion. The judicial coup continues. That's not up to them to make. That's not justiciable. You know what I mean? It's not like they cannot insert their judgment for the president. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's never worked that way, ever.
No, it doesn't. And they know this. The Judge Karen Immergut, a Trump appointee, recently blocked Trump from deployment in Portland. And I always got to remind people that, yeah, she was a Trump appointee in his first administration, but it was an appointee that was approved by the two senators of Oregon who were both Democrat wackadoos that, Wyden and the other guy.
Yeah.
So if you look at that, she's a leftist. That's basically the bottom line. You have,
a leftist running as a Republican.
Until the Congress stops these fucking games that they're playing with the blue slips and the filibuster. It's just the way it's going to be. And the Democrats are going to always win because they always get the Republicans to basically give in eventually. They go, all right, we're going to give in. We'll give in. We'll give in. That's how it works. All right. Yeah, and they wouldn't approve anybody else but her. Yeah, that's right. And then the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously voted to lift immigrants' temporary restraining order on Trump's mobilization of the Oregon National Guard. However, the Ninth Circuit lets in place immigrants' block on troop deployment. So the same thing. Well, you can mobilize them, but you can't deploy them.
It makes no sense. Did you see the couple hundred Patriots showed up in Portland today?
No, I didn't see
today
that.
or yesterday. Yeah.
I saw a bunch of people went and were doing stuff. Hey, what's up, Cool Frog? How you doing? What's up, Diamond G? How you doing, man? Never give up, never surrender. That's right. Oh, yeah, Judge Karen, literally, Judge Karen.
Yeah, they were singing the national anthem to the guards at the ISIS facility. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
There's been a lot of stuff too, where basically like the Portland police have been doing shit like arresting, like they don't arrest any of the Antifa people, but they'll arrest the people someone gets attacked by Antifa, and if they defend themselves, they get arrested.
It's weird. Yeah,
it's beyond.
What was that press guy? They got arrested and then they let him go like the next day.
Yeah, I know who you're talking. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah,
Nick Sorter.
He didn't do anything. He was asking.
No, questions. He didn't do anything. Yeah, there was another guy too. That there's a video of this other guy who basically was sitting there, and a guy came up and tried to hit him with a stick, and like this big stick went to hit him with the stick. It's all on video. He grabs the stick out of the guy's hand. They arrested him for like stealing the stick from the guy. Yeah. Portland police are Antifa. Yeah, they are. And I'm hoping though, but I mean, Harmeet Dillon is supposedly on it. She's investigating them. She's looking into it. She's already filed papers and told them, you got a problem here. You can't do this. You're depriving citizens of their rights. You're using, situation. It's a situation. So Trump asked Supreme Court.
Do you think that these Antifa guys are all homeless people that they just dress up and stuff?
Some are, some aren't. Some are like wild. They're all communists. Let's just be clear. They're all communists. But some of the people they get mentally ill or homeless people, and they get them to do like wacky, like just this weird repeated violent stuff over and over again because they don't get charged. They get let go. They get found not mentally ill. I don't know. Later on tonight, we'll get to the story about, the guy who ran over a cop. I don't know if you saw a month or two ago. It was in Ohio. He ran over a sheriff that was directing traffic because his son got shot the day before by the police. He pulled a gun on the cops. So this guy, and then he was like making faces and talking shit to the cops in court. They had to drag him out of the courtroom.
Oh wow!
Well, they just found they just said he was mentally unwell. He had a mental problem that caused him to not realize what he was doing, and so yeah.
So they're basically saying, "Well, Jimmy will do it," and Jimmy is retarded or something, and they're like,
"Yeah,
Jimmy goes
that's what they're doing." Yeah.
These people are sick.
No info on shooter or victim in D.C. FBI, ATF, DEA, Homeland Security, and local police are on the scene, according to local D.C. news. What are you talking? Something happened in D.C.? Must be. That was Ohio. Yeah, it's an Ohio story. That the guy, but he's what's his name? Rodney Hinton Jr. He murdered a Hamilton County deputy. So Trump brought it to Supreme Court, and Amy Coney Barrett should have immediately. There was a shooting in D.C. tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
This says multiple D.C. federal agencies respond to reported shooting in Northeast D.C.
Well, that's got to be a. That's got to be. I'm looking. I don't see nothing right now on X. Although it could just be my feed.
And this could be very conspiracy theory. I still think stuff like this. They sent the guy over there to cause a problem. That way they can be like, well, Trump said he sent the guards in D.C. and cleaned it up, and now it's not clean. You know what I mean? Like they purposely do this shit.
Yeah, purposely.
Because every time that there's any kind of shooting, the Democrats have a bill the next day. Gun reform. Here we go. Every single time. Like it's like clockwork.
Definitely. I don't see anything. I'll look for it in a second, but let me go here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Let me look. I had it. I got to find it now. I got to reopen a new tab. I accidentally closed the tab. Okay, hold on. This is the Epoch Times. Okay, so that's all right. So it's this one.
Yeah, they don't. They barely have any information on it.
There we go. All right. All right. So that's what's going on there with that. And then we got this story. If you guys remember this guy, Ian Roberts, the guy, the superintendent of the legal alien superintendent of Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa's school board or school systems, whatever you want to call it. Turns out, not only did he lie about getting a degree and actually being a doctor and having a doctorate and stuff, and getting the job, and lie about being able to work in the U.S., but he also lied about being a citizen. He's claimed he was a citizen in the U.S. So he's now charged with falsely claiming he was a citizen on his U.S. in his employment form. Now, you would think that would be something that would be, so if that's all it takes is you just lie, if you can come here and just lie and say, I'm a citizen, and they go, okay, I guess that's why they have those forms, and they say it's like the honor system with voting, too. It's like, well, it's illegal for illegal aliens to vote. We ask them, are you able to vote? And they say, yeah, so, that's a crime to do it. So obviously they don't do it.
Former Des Moines Public School District Superintendent Ian Roberts is now facing a federal charge, accused of falsely claiming citizenship on employment verification forms. ICE agents arrested Roberts last month, a year after he received a final order of removal from the U.S. Roberts is also facing a charge of possessing a firearm as an illegal immigrant. He had been superintendent of Des Moines schools since 2023.
Wow. That's crazy, right?
This might be a hot take, but I think to serve in to be a public servant, you need to be American. You need to be born in America, just like the president.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, definitely, I think to be a senator or something, Congress. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're going to be a federal judge that's appointed for life, definitely should be a U.S. citizen. I mean, we've got a bunch of people that weren't. Biden appointed a whole bunch of people that weren't U.S. citizens, and he appointed them, and then all of a sudden they got their citizenship. They were like, or dual citizens, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. Yeah, please, like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Or they vetted them and said, fuck it, we're just going to put them in there.
This guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
there's no vetting happening.
I think they knew. They said supposedly that they knew during the vetting that he didn't actually graduate from the college he said he did, but they still hired him anyway. I mean, if somebody's going to lie about that, I mean, I guess unless that's normal, where they just lie all the time and so they don't care. But I mean, who would think criminals would lie?
Yeah, who'd have thought that? It's crazy because anytime I ever do something, I feel like I have multiple background checks, all this other stuff, and it's just like all of a sudden I read or see that somebody just kind of skated in. Like, what? Like, I can't do anything without a background check, this check or that check. It's crazy.
You've been struck by a dual citizen. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, they claim they use a third party to check this all out. So they're saying this public school superintendent has now been federally charged with one count of false statement for employment.
So Jerome on the side of the road is the third party. Yeah, he's good. So, yeah, they say he lied on his I-9 submitted as part of his hiring process. I mean, like, hello, because they were trying to say, oh no, this guy had legal right, he could. So I was like, no, he lied. It's probably the same thing. Like they're arresting the cops that all of a sudden they're finding there's legal alien cops. Oh yeah, I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, well, that's not the first one. There was another one that was in Maine or somewhere, Rhode Island or something like that they found. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah, and that's Michelle Obama's former chief of staff hired him. So they arrested him on September 26th. They said they found a gun, a knife, and $3K in cash in his vehicle, a district vehicle he was driving. He's been charged with possession of a firearm as an illegal alien, which is a 10-year felony. And he may have possessed 4 different firearms. He's being held in federal custody. He can be fined or imprisoned for up to 15 years or both. I would think it'd be more than that. Yeah, she suspended her campaign. We covered it yesterday. The woman that hired him was running for Senate, and she suspended her campaign because she, said she's got to focus on this stuff. Yeah. Falsely claimed he was a U.S. citizen. I'm sure. What else did he falsely claim, I wonder?
Yeah, it's not the first time he's lied, I'm sure.
He wrote a book, and that's the thing, there's something that doesn't make sense, because he wrote this book where he claimed that he was the head of security for the president of Guyana or something like that from in the 90s. It's or the 2000s. It was wait, how did you do that if you were here, you claiming you were going to school? It's something don't make sense. So that's interesting that, he actually was claimed he was a U.S. citizen. So now it's saying the charges carry a max sentence of up to 20 years in prison. Says he worked for 2 decades in school districts across the U.S. So this guy worked for school districts across the U.S. for 2 decades as an illegal alien who had no actual education to be doing it, just because DEI, and it's we got a black guy here. Here we go. See, we're not racist. We have black guy in charge. We put black guy in charge. It is. It's nuts. I mean, you would think at some point that they would figure out a way to do a little bit better vetting or something.
So the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is basically garbage, right?
Pretty much.
I mean, it's worthless, because for as many people get pushed into stuff for DEI, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is basically you can't discriminate against people on race, color, all that stuff. But
that's basically. But the Civil Rights Act the Civil Rights Act kind of just exemplifies what was in the 13th and 14th Amendment. Kind of just hey, you can't do this shit. They shouldn't have to keep doing it. But then that. But then they pass laws like the VRA, the Voting Rights Act, where they're saying we have to do this. Basically, Congress always does that, where they'll know they can't do something, but they do it anyway. You know what I mean? We're going to tell, even though we know it's unconstitutional to use race to discriminate based on race, but we're going to tell you we want you to discriminate based on race in these instances. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Yeah, I thought you were coming on, Julio.
My co-host Julio.
So he authorities say he lacked authorization to work in the U.S. and fled from agents who conducted traffic stop. Well, he did. They had to get someone to come up and track him down. Illegal firearm possession. The Iowa school district sues the company that vetted the superintendent, so they're blaming it on someone else. We're going to sue the company. Iowa revokes the license of the superintendent. He was hired in 2023 to lead the district of 30,000 students. Days after being detained, he resigned from his job, which included an annual salary of $286,716. See, we just can't get Americans to do those jobs, Derek. We got to get illegal aliens, because Americans just won't do those jobs for that little, $300K. Nobody wants to do that.
Do you think that they pull the third party act just so that they have a person
plausible deniability?
Yeah,
it's possible. It's possible.
Oh, we didn't do it. They did it. That was nothing to do with us.
Yeah. So we'll see. And then this story here. The Trump DOJ just announced the arrest of a Gaza man, Mahmoud al-Muhtadi, who is currently living in Louisiana following his participation in the October 7th terror attack on Israel. Yes. So he entered the U.S. under Biden and Mayorkas. Unbelievable. Al-Muhtadi allegedly provided false information in his U.S. visa application relating to his involvement with the paramilitary organization. So after the October 7th attack, they were still letting people come in from Palestine on visas into the U.S., from Gaza. seems like maybe that would have been a time. I mean, did we, after 9/11, did we say, hey, come on, Taliban, come in the country? Like right after 9/11, did we do that? I don't think we did.
And this is this could be conspiracy theory. Do you think it's they're purposely doing it because they're looking for a takeover? Because it seems like they just opened the door for everybody, and we got the worst people imaginable crossing the border. It's almost like,
well, I mean, I know that they purposely, they've talked about it, and they used to say it openly, how they wanted to, like, bring in new people, because basically the people that are here weren't voting for Democrats anymore, so they wanted to bring in new people. We need new people. The more people they could pack in these certain areas will get, and then they can either, because they're not supposed to vote if they're not citizens, so they can either just use them for electoral counts, for districting and district packing, or mail-in ballots. When you got mail-in ballots,
I don't know. They're kind of building a small army of people, just kind of like, we'll just bring them in, and then all of a sudden, yeah,
they use them like chess pieces. Brian's right. Yeah,
that's true.
And also you got to remember too that some of these politicians were saying we needed them in here because we need them to be to be in the military, that we don't have enough Americans to be in the military anymore, so we need these illegals to come in to be in the military, and then we'll just give them citizenship right away. Minnesota is ruined, Dearborn is ruined. So it says he says he participated in a terrorist attack and military training, so I'm sure some judge is going to rule though that this guy gets his due process and all that, like, no, you can't do this. You gave him, he gets to stay now, even though he's a terrorist. Al-Muhtadi entered the United States on September 12, 2024. Julio Cesar says, you can split this two ways. Well, here's how that works. I don't split shit, Julio. I keep it all. So, and with that $10, we are now $47 away, 47 doll hairs away from the first extra hour or Bellavision, unless we get a single individual donation of $25 or greater, which could be in the form of Super Chats, Romo Rants, Cash App, PayPal, or, gifted memberships. 5 gifted memberships will get you Bellavision on either Rumble or YouTube. Mm-hmm. You like number 47? Yeah, everybody does. Everybody does. Mm-hmm. So there's the guy. Look at him. You would think they would catch this stuff, and so this arrest underscores the catastrophic failures of Biden's border policies, letting a suspected Hamas operative slip through while Americans foot the bill for DC's negligence. Visa fraud isn't just paperwork, it's national security suicide. Rubio's visa revocation policy post Charlie Kirk assassination already proved foreign nationals celebrating violence forfeits their right to stay. Now, under this standard, now applied at standard universally, every unchecked entry under Biden's watch is a gamble with American lives. Secure the border, vet vigorously, deport immediately, no more globalist naivete. Do I think Aaron Imholt is watching this from the clink? I don't think he's watching anything. I don't think he's watching anything.
He's watching his booty holes when he's watching.
Because, he kept saying all that stuff. I was seeing all the stuff that he was saying and the different people. And bottom line is, I don't think he realized it's not a hotel. You don't just go there and it's not like you order and like, tonight I'm going to have this and I want this from this. It's like, basically, they do like the canteen, like it's like a weekly thing. Like they have, they don't, it's like they schedule certain places to go. Like you go this day, this trip. So he's probably never going to get canteen because he's got to order it a week ahead of time and then he gets it the next week. So he's not going to be there long enough. So that's going to be funny when he gets out and says like, oh, I didn't get no canteen.
And he's supposed to keep his mouth shut for like 10 years or something, right?
Quite a long time. He's got to keep his mouth shut.
He couldn't make it months.
Well, plus too, what's going to be funny is because he has some shows scheduled for this week coming up, like 9-hour shows. Like he took some shows and like smacked them together. I bet you he didn't watch them to see what's in them. Because if there's anything in them that violates his restraining orders, I would think maybe he would be smart enough to go, okay, I need to get shows from before any of this happened. So that way, not, like when I wasn't talking about any of this stuff. Because if he took anything from the past 2 years, any show from the last 2 years, he's at risk of violating again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so there's this, and then you got this guy that says, FBI arrested Mahmoud Ahmed Al-Qadi Al-Mutadi in Louisiana for participating in the October 7th massacre. Al-Mutadi is a member of the DFLP terrorist group, invaded Israel from Gaza, and later entered the U.S. under the Biden administration. This is crazy, right? This is crazy. This is crazy. I never again want to hear a single Islamist tell me that Jews saying are unsafe in America is hyperbole. Activist Hamas terrorists are literally in this country. Jews should arm themselves. Well, I recommend everyone should arm themselves. Prepare to defend yourselves. Yeah. FBI arrests pro-Hamas militant accused of joining October 7th attacks. Well, I mean, it's probably they did because, they know that they had the UN's UNRWA, whatever it was, organization was helping them. The people that were working for the UN was helping the.
It's crazy that the people of the actual government are helping terrorists come across the borders.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Hyperbole. Yeah, you spelled it wrong, but I knew what it meant. Yeah. Is the Gaza man like a Maryland man? Well, I'm sure someone's gonna come out and defend them. I'm sure we're gonna hear reports. Sure we're gonna hear reports about that they're. We gotta do something. We can't let this is ridiculous, and it's guys' First Amendment rights to be able to kill those people. It's his political views or something. That's what they'll say.
I mean, it's always some dumb idiot. Always.
So yeah, Gaza man. Is that a song?
And then they signed a treaty yesterday, and then immediately started fighting after they signed the treaty.
Well, they started executing people. They went around basically just rounding people up and shooting people, basically put them on their knees and shooting them in the back of the head. The Hamaskis. They're very tricksy.
Some people need to be gone.
Yeah. So this guy, Mahmoud Amin Yabuk Kabig Al-Bid Matudi, a Gaza native currently residing in Lafayette, Louisiana, was arrested for his alleged involvement in the terror attack on Israel, October 7, 2023. After hiding out in the U.S., this monster has been found and charged with participating in the atrocities of October 7th, the single deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust, said Attorney General Pam Bondi. While nothing can fully heal the scars left by Hamas's brutal attack, this department's Joint Task Force, October 7th, is dedicated to finding and prosecuting those responsible for that horrific day. Are there more of them here? Are they hiding in Dearborn? Are they living in the house with Rashida Tlaib?
Would not surprise me.
We will continue to stand with the Jewish Americans, Jewish people around the world against anti-Semitism and terrorism in all forms. As set forth in the documents filed yesterday, when Al-Mutadi learned of the unfolding barbaric attack on Israel from multiple nations, including the United States, he sprang into action. He armed himself, recruited additional marauders, and then entered Israel, where there is evidence placing him near one of the worst hit Israeli communities. Al-Mutadi fraudulently obtained a visa to enter the U.S., where he hoped to remain undetected. This arrest is the first public step. So I bet you what happened was the Israelis knew he came here, tracked them and said, hey, you got this, basically the same group that tracked the people down and around, whatever it was, Simon Wiesenthal or whatever, those people, they tracked people down all, for years and years and years after World War II. Probably the same type of situation. Because how would the U.S. know that he was there,
Yeah.
October 7th is a day that lives in infamy for so many, Gentile and Jew alike, because the terrorist attack on Israel that began with a wave of anti-Semitic violence. Let this arrest serve as a reminder both those who perpetuate active terrorism cannot evade law enforcement. According to court documents, Al-Mutadi is an operative for the Democrat Front. Oh, so it's the Democrat Front for Palestine. Okay, so it's just they're all Democrats. I get it, the commies. The National Resistance Brigade, the NRB, and the Martyr Umar al-Qassim Forces, a Gaza-based paramilitary group. He learned about the Hamas invasion, armed himself, gathered others, and crossed into Israel with the intention of assisting Hamas in the terrorist attack. So he's not a member of Hamas? So Al-Mutadi's phone utilized a Sarah Tower in Kibbutz Kfar Aza in Israel, location of a horrifying massacre by Hamas and supporters. Al-Muhtadi allegedly provided false info to the U.S. visa application. So I wonder if we're going to keep him here or are we going to send him to Israel? I would rather send him to Jordan. The Jordanians don't play. They don't.
No.
They'll get answers. They have ways of making you talk.
Like waterboarding, stuff like that.
No, I just think they beat people. I don't think they go with this all sophisticated. They just kind of hang you upside down and beat you with reeds until you start talking. And, he's training in involvement in the October 7th attacks, according to Homeland Security. So, John Nickel, the lead attorney, Alicia Cook. And his presence in the U.S. was discovered by JTF 10-7, established in February by Pam Bondi. It was created to spearhead the Justice Department's ongoing investigation into the perpetrators of the. Why would the U.S. government be investigating the people who attacked Israel? Isn't that Israel's problem?
Israel has one of the most sophisticated intelligence group ever.
Yeah, no, Jordan. That's why Jordan won't allow any more of them in there.
That's the part I don't understand is the Israelis have one of the most sophisticated groups ever. Why do they need our help?
I don't know. I don't think they need our help. I don't. We use them a lot of times. Like, didn't we have to get the Israelis to open that one phone for us because we couldn't do it? Wasn't that Riverside, California attack or whatever it was when no, Transjordan was always there. It was always Transjordan. And then it was bigger, and then it's a long story, but bottom line is Palestine never existed. The figment of your imagination. It's always been Israel. And so here's a story from the Gateway Pundit. Pro-Hamas attacker hiding in Louisiana with a visa from Joe Biden. Joe Biden personally gave this guy a visa. Joe Biden said, I know that guy. I party with him. Him and Hunty used to do some coke together. They hung out. Yeah, he likes guns. I like guns.
He likes guns. I like guns.
Yeah, the FBI announced the arrest of Mohammed Amin Khalil Khalid Kabul al-Maltadi, a resident. Now they're saying he's a resident of Lafayette, Louisiana, who is suspected of participating in the Hamas terror attack. Oh, Arabic language has no P.
Come on in. Commit terrorism on our soil. It's cool.
Yeah. The affidavit accuses Al-Muhtadi of violating federal law by providing, attempting to provide, or conspiring to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization. Doesn't Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar do that every day?
Basically.
Huh.
It's crazy how the laws and rules don't apply to certain people.
You think Israel might have tipped off the U.S. that he was in Louisiana? That's what I think.
Yeah.
And so he's accused of being part of the military wing of the DFLP, which carried out one of the series of terrorist attacks on Israel that killed over 1,200 people. They obtained recorded calls that allegedly show Muhtadi used that phone to organize a group to participate in the attack. And they also alleged to have falsified. Oh, see, that's the thing. They want to get him because he lied. Not that he killed all those people. He lied on a visa application. So that's what they say. You lied. Da, 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 da. Nuts, right? That's to make a big deal about him lying on the visa application. As a result of that false application, he was able to obtain permission to travel to the U.S. and obtain legal permanent residence. How the fuck did he get legal permanent residence status already?
Because his name's John Smith.
Oh. It's the same thing like that guy from the guy from Colombia. Not Kilmar or Brigo Garcia, not that guy. The other guy, the Mohammed, what's his name? Mahmoud, the fuck's his name? You know the guy I'm talking about? The guy that they went to try to get rid of, and It's like, oh, he's married now and he's got a wife and he's going to have a kid and he's got a green card. It's like, wait, he came on a student visa in 2023.
Yeah.
How did he get a green card? Yeah.
Sounds like to me that the Louisiana...
Biden was purposely giving these. Somebody in the government was purposely giving known terrorists, people connected to terrorists, green cards. That's what I think.
It'd have to be a Secretary of State, right?
Well, somebody inside the Department of State, yeah. State Department, yeah, definitely. That's what I think. The complaint was filed October 6th under seal. It includes extensive reported examples of photos, social media posts, and recorded calls of Muhtadi discussing his involvement with terrorist organizations. But yeah, so this is crazy, though. How this guy got into the country. I thought we were supposed to... This stuff I thought they said this would never happen again with the, Patriot Act.
I think that was all bullshit. I think it's to be able to spy on American citizens.
No, you don't say.
That's what it was for. It wasn't for anything else.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was for, too. But
and people said, oh, sure, here you go.
Sure, no problem. Come on in, check it out. All right, we've been going an hour. I want to remind everybody, please hit like if you haven't already hit the like button, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And, yeah, it's to spy on the senators, definitely.
That's true, too, yeah.
There goes my boomer for the evening. There goes the first boomer of the evening. Thank you. They moved the damn. They moved the damn button where it was. So yeah, Palestinian. This says Palestinian man in Louisiana charged with participating in October 7th massacre.
Why do they keep lying? I mean,
Pat Hacker, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing I can do. I mean, about Nobella. I mean, I keep looking. I don't see anybody. I don't see any donations for Bella. So.
Oh, it's just a Palestinian man. He's not. He's not hurting anybody. Oh, he didn't. He doesn't hurt. He's just a kind person. Okay.
Yeah. No Bella, no peace. Well, to get Bella, it's $25, or we get the first goal. That's just the way it is. I mean, I'm sorry. That's the rules. I don't see anything. Yeah, nothing on Rumble. Nothing on Locals, nothing on Cash App, nothing on nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. It's the rules. Bella says no. She won't, not without getting paid. I don't want to have to get the shock collar out. That to get her to be able to sit there, but without
she
the money.
She don't shake her booty for free.
A poor artist blames his tools, Jim. It's possible. Yeah, so, look at this there. Helio Scissors goes, here you go, you cheapskates.
Oh!
So there we go, from Julio. And with that, we have $22 now. $22 for the first extra hour. Thank you very much, Julio. Julio says, you're lucky it's payday, you cretins. You see nothing? You don't see Bella? She's there. Did I do something wrong? I don't think so. There she is. Miss Bella American. All right.
If only Bella could talk.
Thank you, Julio. Mm-hmm. This is even, the New York Post covering the story. Pro-Hamas attacker living in Louisiana arrested by the FBI. So it's everywhere. Then we're going to go on to this story, which I'm very upset about. Okay, this is very troubling. Says Mangione seeks to toss U.S. murder charge over Trump's comments. Louis Mangione's lawyer, because the judge in this case already threw out the terrorism charges and said, well, it's not really like he's not a terrorist. He doesn't belong to any terrorist organization. So how are you charging him with a terrorist? It's like, well, because he did these things specifically to change people's behavior and terrorize the community. And, like, yeah, but it's not really, I don't think it's terrorism. They threw that out. Now they're trying to get him. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do this, if they let this guy walk. It wouldn't shock me. So
now he's the one that was charged for killing the
CEO of the assassinating. He walked up behind the CEO and just shot him.
Now, do you believe the whole conspiracy theory that it wasn't the same guy? Because they were trying to sit there and say it was a different guy. It's not the same guy.
Yeah. No, actually, I think this guy. I think Luigi killed Charlie Kirk, and the guy that got arrested for Charlie Kirk killed it.
There's a lot of Charlie Kirk conspiracy things happening too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Biden said Rittenhouse killed black people, and they didn't get to dismiss those charges. So so Louis Mangione's lawyers said his federal death penalty case should be dismissed because the comments made by the president and Pam Bondi and other top officials have damaged his ability to get a fair trial.
Oh wow, really?
Oh yeah. So he's accused of fatally shooting the United Healthcare Group executive in December outside a Midtown Manhattan hotel. He has pleaded not guilty to the federal indictment, which carries the potential death penalty. So I think I'm gonna lose this.
Don't they have him on video doing it?
Yeah, he's on video. What is happening? I'm waiting for the ad to end. 10 seconds. With a vamp. U.S. District Judge Margaret Garnett warned the Justice Department officials last month to stop making statements that link Mangione to left-wing extremism.
Mangione, a judge on Tuesday dismissing the top charges in his state murder case in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Judge Gregory Caro left intact a lesser murder charge, second-degree murder. That charge still carries the possibility of life in prison. But it nonetheless was a victory for Mangione. Mangione walked into court in a beige jail jumpsuit. He was there.
Yeah, it was the state charges. The state judge said, yeah, it's not first-degree murder, it's second-degree murder. So lying in wait for somebody and sneaking up behind him and shooting him in the back of the head is not first-degree murder in New York.
Premeditated, right?
Yeah, it's not premeditated, I guess, in New York.
Oh my God!
Crazy.
For several minutes,
this dude's gonna get off. Watch.
He might get off.
Or if the Democrats get the presidency, they'll get him out of jail.
As he passed the crowd of supporters in the courtroom.
Because they know the Republicans won't do anything.
The entire state case dismissed. They argued that it was double jeopardy. Judge Caro said that it's premature at this stage to entertain the notion of double jeopardy because neither the state case against Mangione or a parallel federal prosecution have gone to trial. Judge Caro did say that prosecutors in the state case presented insufficient evidence to support the top charges that alleged that Mangione killed Brian Thompson as an act of terrorism. And as at his last court appearance, this one attracted a large crowd of supporters. Some wearing Free Luigi t-shirts, others wearing green in solidarity, mimicking the character Luigi from the video game Mario Brothers. Mangione is due back in court.
Why are people that stupid, Jim? Can you tell me this?
Because these people are all fucking insane. These are people that would have, 50 years ago, these people would have been locked in mental asylums. And that's the truth. These are people that want, these are the same people that were cheering for Charlie Kirk's murder, saying, yeah, good. These are the same people that would cheer if you or me were killed. Just another Nazi fascist killed. These are people who believe by any means necessary. These are people who believe that, the ends always justify the means.
Psychopaths.
Yeah, psychopaths. So, this is what we're up against. This is what you have to remember when people say, like, we need to have unity. We need to have unity. We need to get along. We need to tone down the rhetoric. We can't tone down rhetoric with people like this.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't.
I agree. Medication. Well, I think that's part of the problem is all these meds that these people are on, they're freaking wackadoos. All the ADHD medicine and all that shit.
Yeah, it's mass formation psychosis. Yeah,
they're all nuts.
So yeah, so you got this. You got U.S. District Judge Margaret Garnett, and they were trying to argue too that it's double jeopardy because he's charged in state court and federal court. There's always cases. Look at wasn't George Shulman double jeopardy then because he was charged in state court and federal court. You know what? But just because it's this guy, because it's one of them, they're going to try to pull the shit.
Of course.
So yeah, Judge Margaret Garnett warned the Justice Department to stop making statements that link Mangione to left-leaning extremism, saying there could be punishment for future comments. She also asked the government to explain how the violations occurred. Mangione's lawyer said that Trump referred to him last month in a memorandum designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. In addition, Trump said in a September 18th Fox News interview that Mangione shot someone in the back and he looked like a pure assassin. Okay. He can't tell the president, they can't tell the president to shut up. It doesn't work that way. And White House reposted Trump's comment saying POTUS is right. The significance of these prejudicial statements is that they have life and death consequences for Missy Mangione. Mangione's lawyer, Karen Friedman Agnafilio, said in a court filing. The statements have caused irreparable harm because the government's sustained public commentary designed to further a political agenda have prejudiced impact on a future jury. Yeah. Agnafilio also sought to dismiss the federal case earlier this month in another filing that focused on the collection of evidence by local Pennsylvania police that arrested Mangione in December following a 5-day manhunt. Separately, Mangione also faces state murder charges. Federal prosecutors said last week that the government officials who commented about the case were not part of the prosecution team and had to violate Garnett's order not to publicly comment on the case. But Friedman Aglifino said the judge's directive applied to Bondi and Trump. Unlike any of its predecessors in the Watergate area, the Justice Department has not acted independently of the White House in this case or several others. They're not independent. It's never been independent. But the judge cannot tell the president he can't talk. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. These people are psychopaths. Because somebody said mean things to me. Yeah, that's for something. I'm going to get something out of that.
Let them try, other Jim. Yeah, I wonder if the judge will try a gag order on Trump again. Now, who knows, man? I look forward to when Trump finally tells these judges to shove it. Yeah, I look forward to when Trump actually starts arresting judges. I'm all for it. Arrest the judges. Start arresting governors, mayors, judges.
Yeah, because they're blatantly breaking the law.
You have massive trials in stadiums, 1,000 at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Televised.
Oh,
I'll fly the helicopter.
Some rope involved. Yeah.
Yeah. And then here's this is how NBC reports it. Louis Mangione is being used as a Trump administration pawn in a bid to dismiss indictment. Defense lawyers made the allegations on Friday court filing, arguing to dismiss the federal indictment. See that they make. Oh, look at the nice picture they have of them. Oh, they're like loving, just like they did with the Shinera brothers, with the that Rolling Stone did to basically make them. So they allege the Trump administration is using their client as a pawn to further its political agenda and prejudicing his case in a new court filing. Mangione's attorneys argued that social media posts and public comments made by the Department of Justice have prejudiced him in a fair trial. And Mangione is one young man alleged to have acted alone, fighting for. Did he act alone? Did he? I mean, who did he communicate with? Are we sure he acted alone?
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either.
How did they know that guy was there at that particular time?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know somebody's scoping the shit out.
And then Trump said someone, we read that stuff. So a day later, an ex-account affiliated with the White House Rapid Response posted a clip from a Fox interview to its more than 1.2 million followers. After complaints from the attorneys about the comments, federal prosecutors sent a letter addressed to the judge that they promptly directed the post to be taken down once they became aware of them. They added that officials are not part of the prosecution team.
So in their logic, Reverend Al Sharpton should have got he affected the case with George Floyd because of his comments, right?
Well, you would think, or what about like what Obama said about George Zimmerman? You know,
Oh,
that
yeah.
Trayvon Martin looked like his son, and you know all this stuff. I mean,
Interesting how the rules only apply one way.
no, it's true. They do. They only apply one way. A lot of streets named after him. So we'll see. Got to keep an eye on this. See what's going to happen with this. And then on to the next story here. We got Portland codifies protections for criminal illegal alien killers, rapists, and gangbanger thugs. So they're going to protect those. See, they're all happy. They're going to protect. Portland's going to protect the illegal alien criminals over its citizens.
What is happening in the middle over there? Is that a banana? What is that?
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Could be a banana. I don't know what the fuck. Portland's one weird place. Portland codifies sanctuary status, orders city police to further separate from ICE. The vote came as a federal judge extended a temporary restraining order blocking the Trump administration from deploying National Guard troops. Let's see. I like Stephen Miller.
Here's why you should switch from Google.
Here's why you should switch from Google to DuckDuckGo. Seriously? Jerks. Oh, I gotta join Fox News for access to this comment? Are you serious? You motherfucker.
Jim, do you use Chrome?
After
I do.
designating that
Yeah,
group
Chrome has
as
an
a
ad blocker that I
domestic
use for
terrorist
mine.
Organization. Now, today's meeting was attended by cabinet members along with journalists who have experienced Antifa's violence firsthand. And
Sorry, folks. This is going to take a minute. I got to wait for this page to come up.
During the so-called Summer of Love. Remember the Chop Chaz Summer of Love spaghetti potluck dinner zone? You know, all the way to present day. And Monday, Stephen Miller, he went on fake news CNN. Not many people watch there, but a lot of people will watch here. And when the host tried to defend the Portland protesters, Stephen did what he did best, and he shut them down real fast. Take a look.
But there isn't actually a threat that these demonstrators are going to overthrow the government. Are you concerned that that response weakens your legal argument?
No, they are actually, as we speak, trying to overthrow the core law enforcement function of the federal government. Boris, this is, I think, where we're talking past each other. When ICE officers have to street battle against Antifa, hand-to-hand combat every night to come and go from their building, when they try to exit in a vehicle, when they are swarmed and surrounded and they try to tip the vehicle over, when people bring weapons to an ICE facility to try to engage in direct violent assault against ICE officers, what is the purpose? It is to prevent Immigration and Customs Enforcement from carrying out the mission the American people elected them to do. Their objective is to make it impossible for ICE to carry out ICE enforcement. When in our history have we tolerated unlawful riotous assemblies night after night around FBI buildings or ATF buildings or DEA buildings? This is the textbook definition of domestic terrorism, using the actual and imminent threat of violence to keep federal officials from doing their jobs.
All right, here with more White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller. Look, the funny part is I really like, you're the only person I like to go on fake news CNN because then I get great tape and I get to show my audience and you get to look really good because you usually school them like you did here. Great job.
It's taking forever for this archive to come up on this story.
Your show, you tell me that I'm the only guest who's allowed to go on CNN, so that way we can play the clips on your show where millions of people will actually watch them. So thank you for that, and that was for you, Sean, and your many loyal viewers.
I appreciate it, but you know, we do have a problem here. I mean, Portland, 100+ nights of violence, and they're surrounding ICE facilities. They're putting these people's lives in danger. California, oh, we're going to pass a law. They can't put a mask on, but they exempt local police to protect, for example, the governor. Then you got this idiot, you know, 4,000 murders, 5 times the murder rate of New York City, J.B. Pritzker, you know, blaming Donald Trump. You know, when all Donald Trump is trying to do is bring law and order and safety and security to the people in the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago.
Finally came up. All right. Oh, sorry, guys. So part of codified sanctuary status orders city and police to further separate. Portland's progressive-leaning city council voted Wednesday to codify the city's sanctuary status and ordered local police to further distance themselves from U.S. immigration and custom enforcement. The council unanimously approved by a 12-0 vote to both protect Portland initiative, a new sanctuary city ordinance, after a lengthy public meeting where dozens of residents testified. The two measures make Portland's sanctuary status legally binding and create a framework for how the city will track, respond, and resist federal immigration raids. Well, resisting federal immigration raids to me would say that's against the law. It's a violation. You can't resist, impede.
Yeah.
You know, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson, who has Antifa bodyguards, welcomed the city council vote, calling it a clear and powerful message of unity against federal overreach. How is it federal overreach for the federal government to enforce immigration law? Oh, I forgot. I did get a Cash App came in from someone. From Nana, 1776, for $25 for Bella, but we had already had Bella, so I thank you very, very much, Nana. That's very nice of you. And I believe with that, we actually that puts us over. Yes.
The
assessment. Red
question
Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
With that, we hit the first goal, so we now are going to extend the show by at least 1 hour with that 25. So with that, we are $72 away from a second additional hour. Go ahead,
Optimus
Derek.
Prime?
No, that's from that's Liberty Prime
Oh, okay.
from Fallout.
Now, the question I have is the one thing that goes through my mind is some of these people their antics have been for decades. They were doing it in the 60s. It's almost like
Thank you, Nana.
It's almost like the 60s right now. Why did they start doing it with Trump? It seemed like all of this started happening during Trump's first administration. Well, really, Obama's administration. But it's almost like they showed their cards as soon as Trump was elected.
Because Trump is not part of the system. He's not. You know, like was Bush, there was riot protests and stuff, and they just got ignored, and it was just like the way it was. People ignored it and everything. I mean, they had problems, but I mean, it's they immediately decided to fight Trump every step of the way. You know, no matter what, they're going to just sue everything. You know, like they filed lawsuits against Trump on Inauguration Day.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. Trump is effective. They had to increase the resistance. Yeah. He's outside of the Borg.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much, Nana, because Hillary lost. That's right. What's to say? Nazi Artie Johnson was the best part of laughing. Okay. The boomers want to relive their youth. They protested everything back in the day. The votes came as a federal judge in Oregon and sent a temporary restraining order blocking the Trump administration from deploying the National Guard troops. City Councilor Samir Kanal, who introduced the ordinance. So Samir Kanal, that sounds like a nice American name, said in a statement Wednesday that it was intended to make the city's sanctuary status legally enforceable. These people are all ridiculous if they think for some reason that they have power to enforce anything on the federal government. That's not how it works. The city doesn't get, they got other people threatening, like the city of Chicago, and other people threatening to prosecute. We're going to prosecute the feds. It doesn't work that way. I mean, when the stuff happened, which they knew with Ruby Ridge, where the ATF agent or whoever murdered the woman, the wife, Randy Weaver's wife, and they knew everything was bogus, you know what I mean? And they basically had to pay him money and everything. They still couldn't charge her with anything or charge the guy with anything because of federal supremacy. It got dismissed. They had to dismiss the case. Says Jane, actually we didn't, and Kent State effectively ended the peace movement. Yeah. Oh.
And half those girls are wearing the stupid Karen glasses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, tonight was the first step, Canal said. We will continue to stand up for illegal aliens and for the First Amendment to ensure our laws reflect our values. The ordinance prohibits city employees from assisting any federal agency with immigration enforcement or using city resources for that purpose. It also requires the creation of policies, training programs, and resources to guide how staff handle interactions with immigration agents. Their interactions would be to obey the law. And under Portland's sanctuary policy, city employees, including police officers, do not enforce federal immigration law. Oregon has a statewide sanctuary law that likewise bars state and local law enforcement participation in immigration enforcement without a warrant. President Trump called the Portland war ravaged and claimed federal facilities, including ICE sites, are under siege by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. Portland's ICE facility has become a major flashpoint for Trump's illegal immigration clampdown, as left-wing protesters have descended on the facilities several times. Not several times, every fucking day.
Yeah.
The building's exterior has been covered with anti-ICE graffiti. Violent clashes between agitators and federal agents have broken out several times since June, including in one incident when a large group of anti-ICE protesters tried to block enforcement vehicles from entering and exit the facilities. Agents responded by deploying rubber bullets, tear gas, flashbangs to burst the crowd. So, yeah, so that's going on there, which is ridiculous. Then we got this up in Illinois, which I kind of talked about here. You got Judge Ellis says she's ordering all immigration agents to wear body cams in Chicago area operations. And she's upset that the DOJ failed to recognize what she said Thursday. This was not a suggestion. It was not a hint. It wasn't a topic of conversation. It was an order.
For somebody that you can't order.
Correct. She has no authority to order them to put body cams on.
Did this lady read
She does not control the executive branch. No, so I'm saying this is ridiculous. She does not control the executive branch. But Amy Coney Barrett clearly won't fucking do her job because she never liked Trump to begin with. Trump got fucked by picking her. Ellis says she wanted the government and plaintiffs to submit proposed language to the TRO to make her orders operationally feasible, but this is going into effect immediately. Yeah. Judge Ellis is the new secretary of DHS. Yeah. She has no authority to order it. She's violating the separation of powers and breaking the law. What judges can't do. A federal judge cannot create new nationwide law enforcement policies without congressional or executive authority. They can't order all federal agents to wear body cams in general as a matter of policy. And she can't use contempt powers to force compliance with rules that do not exist in statute, regulation, or court orders stemming from a case. She has no authority to do this, but basic math for me, what does that mean? Did I do something wrong? Oh, the secrets of geometry. Okay, all right, never mind. Doing so would violate the separation of powers because policy-making authority lies with executive and Congress, not the judiciary. Yeah. Trump leaves president to become even more powerful district court judge. Yeah, that's what he should do. Just appoint himself a district court judge, then he can do everything he wants. So he just make rulings. Say, no, got to do this. And then
these people just immediately get power and think that their power is mightier than everybody else's. You should bow down because I got some sort of power. These people are freaking nuts.
Yeah, here's CNN's legal analyst Ellie Honig, who's a leftist that hates Trump, says he eviscerates the U.S. District Judge Obama appointee for ordering ICE to wear body cams and that they must be on at all times. I don't know where this judge thinks she gets off essentially being the chief of ICE operations. She can't micromanage telling them you have to wear body cameras. That's an overstep. She's going to get reversed. You would think this would have already happened. It would have been immediately.
There are a few things happening here. There's what the judge has asked of ICE agents, and then there's also just the conduct of these immigration incidents and the fact that so many American citizens are getting caught up in that.
No, they're not. American citizens are not getting caught up in them.
They're not American citizens.
Enforcing immigration
God, I
law
hate that lady.
Aggressively but fairly, and they've gone over the top. I mean, the scenes like we just saw. We've seen way too many of those. That's not good law enforcement. Most, good cops don't like to see that. And there's no need to be pepperballing a preacher outside of a facility.
It's not a real preacher.
I think they've made a mistake. I think they've overstepped. That said, I don't know where this judge thinks she gets off essentially becoming the chief of ICE operations. I mean, she cannot micromanage, tell them you have to wear body cameras. I mean, that might be a good idea, but That's an overstep. She's going to get reversed by a court of appeals eventually. Maybe the Supreme Court, maybe the circuit court. Because what are these? They're cops, essentially, right? They're immigration cops. Are they supposed to go to her and say, well, Your Honor, we want to take a door. Do we have your permission? Your Honor, when should we have our body cameras on? Do we need it during breaks? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that the chief of police or the ASAC would do federally.
Are they supposed to have the body-worn cameras on?
So federal policy varies by agency on that. Different municipalities, most municipalities require it. But again, for the judge to just, this is a perfect example, for the judge to say, you must have body cameras and have them on at all times, that's bad policy. Because what if you go into the home of a domestic violence scene and a victim doesn't want to be shown on camera? I've done these policies. You have to enable the police officer to turn them off to protect victims, to protect privacy. This is why it's a mismatch for a federal judge to try to micromanage the street level operations of ICE or any police force.
Yeah, it's up to Congress sets the rules. You know, if Congress doesn't establish the rules, then it's up to the executive branch. It's not up to the judicial branch at all. You know, which is where I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think today was the last day they had money for the courts anyway. So now none of these courts are going to get paid. The judges don't get paid, and none of them get paid anymore after today. So
I want to see a bunch of them get fired.
Yeah. It's not a judge's role at all.
No. I want to see a lot of firings.
On the other hand, look what's been exposed with nationwide body cams on police. The truth. They showed who the criminals are. Yeah, it's a policy, but it's not up to the judge. This person doesn't understand. It's not up to the judge to make the policy. Oh, look. Oh, gee, it's like the media knows ICE is in the right and are worried the body cams will show it. No, it's because some of the ICE agents that are out doing arrests and stuff, if they're doing raid, they're wearing body cams. But she's saying everyone has to have body cams on at all times. All doesn't work that way, you know. Yeah, judge tells Homeland Security that Chicago agents wearing body cameras was not a suggestion. You know, federal judge again Friday ordered agents in Chicago to where do they have to go? Where are the body cams coming from? Do you think they just have them laying around and they have these body cams so they can't go out and spend money on body cams unless Congress authorizes it? Doesn't she understand that? Congress can, so she thinks she can force them to buy body cams?
It's interesting how they always take this body cam stance thing, and every single time the body cam shows that the person is an idiot and deserves to be in jail. Every single time.
Yeah. Like Julio says, body cams did not work out well for BLM and exposing animals for who they are. Yeah. Penalty box for her. Yeah. Well, you know, Sarah Ellis issued an order Thursday citing concerns about increasing violence clashes between federal agents and the public and their use of tear gas against protesters. Ellis said her orders requires any federal agents working under Operation Midway Blitz to wear body cameras and to keep them on during all law enforcement activities. That's retarded.
Yeah.
So,
me and Julio covered a story where a football player in college got into it. Well, he was going fast and swerving in between cars, and it caused a big accident. And a guy that was in the 80s had died. And he swore up and down that he wasn't there and all this other stuff. Cops immediately brought the body cam footage out, and they got the body cam footage of the people that were there that were telling the story of what happened. And then they pulled cameras from like some of the local businesses, and it was spot on exactly what those people in the video did. So yeah, it's just like, oh.
I want to hear what this guy said.
A law enforcement expert who says if federal agents were required to use body cameras, there would be challenges, including enforcement and cost.
This isn't going to be cheap. Most of the expense goes towards storing the video footage at the local level, and ICE being such a large national agency, that's going to increase that by magnitude.
In 2024, ICE, under the Biden administration, distributed 1,600 body cameras to agents in various cities, Chicago not among them. ICE does have a body camera policy, though implementation is dependent on availability of funding resources.
Documenting things with video whenever possible, these interactions, is so important.
Elias Cepeda leads Pistol Defense and Access, which among other things operates rapid response to ICE sightings and patrols to monitor ICE activity. He was detained and released hours later by agents during a protest at Broadview last month. Cepeda says his group tries to video record confrontations with agents, but it's not always possible. He says he supports Judge Ellis's desire to have agents wear and use body cameras to document their actions.
At least we have the theoretical legal mechanisms to have those tapes released, whether it's FOIA in the press.
Oh, but the people
in
the people spitting on them and
on Monday, the
all kinds of other
parties
shit that they're
involved
doing.
in
That's
this case will meet
okay
again
though.
in federal court. That will include the field director here in Chicago for ICE, Russell Holt. That is when they are expected to discuss how to move forward on the issue of body cameras. Now, reporting live downtown, Victor Hako, CBS News, Chicago.
Love how they had the Trump thing in the background.
American. Yeah. Yeah, so Operation Midway Blitz, the Ellis Center order requires any federal agents working under Operation Midway Blitz where body cameras, a follow-up hearing. Ellis prepares to hear testimony from Customs and Border, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Monday about their use of tear gas and other deterrents on Chicago's east side earlier this week, where they were getting fucking bricks thrown at them. It's on video.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't clear. It was a suggestion. I'm modifying the temporary standard to include body-worn cameras. It's not up for debate. Federal agents at large wear body cameras, but federal agents in Chicago have not been. This was not a suggestion. It wasn't a hint. It wasn't a topic. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security called the ruling an extreme act of judicial activism, because it is. You know, this is ridiculous. The fact that people think like, oh, the judge said, so you got to, it's like, we don't operate under tyranny, judicial tyranny. This is judicial tyranny is what we're living under right now.
Yeah.
You know, who's going to pay for it? What they should do, you know what I would do, actually? Now that I think about it, if I was them, I'd say, okay, Your Honor, we're going to do this, but the money that you're going to pay to body cam is coming out of your budget it's coming out of the budget for you, just so you know. We're taking it from your judicial budget. The Treasury Department's going to deduct it from your court, your personal court. So you might owe us money. That's what I would do. Clear cry about it. No, you ordered it, so we're taking the money from you. You're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
You ordered it, you pay for it. That's how you broke it, you bought it. Sounds good. Man, I should get a job. I could be in charge. You know, it says the judge orders the ICE field director to testify about agents to wear body cameras. The media could not load because the server or network failed. Well, that's terrible. Another commercial. All these fucking commercials. A federal judge said she's profoundly concerned that agents working on immigration enforcement are violating restrictions put in place a week ago regarding the use of tear gas and other crowd control methods based on reporting from ABC 7 Chicago and other Chicago media outlets. I saw the reporting too, and it said they were throwing objects at them. You going to ignore that?
Of course they are.
Judge Ellis also modified the existing temporary restraining order, requiring all agents working under who have already been issued body cameras to wear them and keep them on. Well, that's not what she said. Everyone has to. She's saying everyone has to wear it. So,
wasn't Antifa throwing fireworks at people and
yeah.
people?
Yeah. So. Yeah. And then
It's driving me insane that they're kowtowing to people because they're all on the same team.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we all know ABC would never lie. Yeah. Well, I saw the videos. You know, and then we got here Speaker Johnson on a No Kings rally. If you think about what's going to happen here tomorrow, they're going to bring the Marxists, the Socialists, the Antifas, the Communists, the Anarchists, and Hamas wing of the Democrat Party. That's the modern Democrat Party.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Well.
Now, tomorrow, the Democrat leaders are going to join for a big party out on the National Mall. They're going to descend on our Capitol for their much-anticipated so-called No Kings rally. We refer to it by its more accurate description, the Hate America rally, okay? And I'm not sure how anybody can refute that. If you think about what's going to happen here tomorrow, you're going to bring together the Marxists, the Socialists, the Antifa advocates, the anarchists, and the pro-Hamas wing of the far-left Democrat Party. That is the modern Democratic Party. Now, tomorrow, the Democrat leaders are going to join.
Get the latest updates from Fox News. Yeah, see, here's your king and queen right here. Your party skipped the primary, crowned Kamala without a single vote, and tried to erase Trump from the ballot when your legal warfare crash and burn. That's not democracy. It's authoritarianism with a blue sticker. There you go.
Facts.
Yeah, it turns out that the Hate America rallies tomorrow are being funded by the billionaire who hates America the most. Anyone surprised? It's also being funded. literally by the Communist Party.
I thought it was the left wing whack job for Walmart, the heiress to Walmart. She's
spending a bunch of money on it too, but it's also coming. Like she's not spending that. She doesn't got that much money. Like she's like she was someone who was married to one of them or something and got divorced and got some money or whatever. She's not actively in the, you know what I mean? She's not like one of the people that actually doing work for Walmart, like in the business. She's like a what's it say? Like anyway. Yeah.
There was a Facebook group for my city, and there was a half a dozen people that were doing a No Kings thing in my little town here.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally had a picture, and I Facebook messaged them, and I was like, "Do you know who this is?" None of them knew who it was, and it was George Soros. Not one of them. And it's like, how are you following something where this is the money guy who literally hates this country, and you don't know who this guy is? Like, how is
you're
that
following a guy who literally went around with the Nazis and confronting Jews and stealing shit from Jews and turning in Jews? That's what he did.
Yeah, it's like,
and that's a fact. And he admitted it. He said it was one of the best times of his life.
I don't understand this whole blindly following somebody. You know what I mean? I don't get it.
I don't either. Josh
I'm
Hawley
a whack job. That's why.
George Soros is funding liberal anarchy across the country. We need to investigate and prosecute anyone who funds domestic terrorism.
Trump's supposedly going to go after him. I don't know.
Supposedly, I don't know. It's weird too. The guy looks like Palpatine. Harvey Dillon says that this is not your average protest. It's being led by people shutting down your government and keeping hundreds of thousands of federal workers from being paid. Take care and be very aware what is going on here. Attempts to gaslight the public and destabilize our government. As Laura Loomer said, today the radical left group Indivisible Team will be hosting a pre-No Kings rally at the Lincoln Memorial, encouraging attendees to demonstrate with the same power as protesters from the 60s and 70s. Oh, so they want them to they want them to bomb shit like the Weather Underground. That's what they want. Throw bombs and stuff.
This is basically the 60s all over again.
Bella needs a name tag. They won't let me put a name tag on an extra camera.
Like how well did the hippie movement actually go? Not very well.
Let me see if it lets me. I don't think it lets me put a. Yeah, see, I put a name on there, but it doesn't let me add a name to the second camera. I don't know why. It won't let me. Yeah. So despite the government shutdown, Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer will be attending the Saturday No Kings rally, where attendees at the last No Kings protest called for President Trump's assassination. You can expect to see elected Democrats spending their weekend ranting and raging with Trump haters on the National Mall instead of working towards reopening the government. Democrat Senate Majority Leader clearly endorses and supports political violence. Yeah, because here's Indivisible. You see RSVP Now and Eagle Group, Indivisible sponsoring a rally, and they're calling for the murder. Oh my God, they actually say they're calling for the murder of the president. This is crazy. How could they say that in here? Oh my God. They should all be arrested. They should all be arrested. This is
I
nuts.
thought about making printouts of George Soros and then just going there tomorrow and just handing them out to people.
Yeah.
You know this is? You know this is?
You got Costas Moro says the guy who banned the sale of the most common handgun in the country is talking about No Kings. If he were around in 1776, new scum would be a loyalist and point out to the British where the powder was stored. Yeah, he urges them to declare an independence from the federal government. He basically said this. He says this, what he's doing right here, he should be arrested for.
No Kings, a declaration of independence against the tyranny, against lawlessness in the context that there was no rule of law. It was the rule of king. And I think increasingly people are waking up to the rule of law in this country, increasingly appearing to be the rule of Don. And I hope it's dawning on people how precious this moment is and what's at stake. And so I hope people put a stake in the ground, take the opportunity and time to participate this weekend, but again, do so peacefully with a deep realization of the consequences and what the founding fathers were all about. No.
Oh,
Don't even say that, dude. You're not following anything that the founding fathers did at all. What? Karl Marx? That's your founding father?
Could be. Yeah. Yeah. Here you got a No Kings protest organizer, Robert Weissman. We're being called domestic terrorists for protesting on the street peacefully. Will King. There's Antifa. It exists. If you're not Antifa, good. If Antifa is at your rallies tomorrow, No Kings protester. There is no organization in the United States that calls itself Antifa. Really? Because they were just indicted for terrorism.
You easily could have played Mike Johnson and a series of other Republican leaders calling us Antifa, which now, according to Stephen Miller, is equivalent to being a domestic terrorist. So we're actually being called domestic terrorists for protesting on the street peacefully.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Stephen
well,
Miller's called you.
The Democrats don't do anything peaceful. So
no, they don't, and they called all those people that were protesting outside of the Capitol on terrorists, insurrectionists. They raided their houses.
It's going to be bad. I'm going to tell you right now, if people are going to tear up my little city here, it's on. It's on. Because all they're doing is giving people a free pass. That's all they're trying to do.
Yeah.
We told you peaceful. We told you peaceful. And then, anarchy, it's fine.
I'm all for giving people free rides.
This is not going to be good.
The millions and millions of people who are going to peacefully protest as part of No Kings tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Have been
let me
labeled
say this,
domestic
Robert.
terrorists.
There is Antifa.
If you're worried about,
It
name calling, my friend,
exists.
then
And
look
if you're
to
not
the Republican
Antifa,
Party to see
good.
where it's coming from.
If you're not Antifa, good. I don't know if anybody's called you Antifa, but there is Antifa. And if Antifa is at your rallies tomorrow, I would say you might
there is no organization in the United States.
We're not going to live in Never Neverland. We're not going to live in Never Neverland. I got to leave it here. And if Antifa's there tomorrow, I'm sorry, you should and will see the National Guard. If you're peaceful as you suggest, then we will listen to what you have to say.
You're going to see millions of people at the largest peaceful demonstration in American history.
Robert,
and I hope you come join us, my friend.
I won't be there, but I'll be paying.
The largest peaceful.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you got Jessica Tarloff, who says that we also know that there was a pro-publican investigation that more than 170 Americans have been detained by ICE, with 20 or more held in a day without being able to contact their lawyers or loved ones. That's what the No Kings protest is about. Those only people that have been held, the citizens that they're talking about, because they attacked the fucking ICE agents, so they get arrested. It's called being arrested, you stupid cunt. God.
They don't have anything, so they lie.
Yeah. That's crazy. I'm not a king. Yeah, forget. If he was a king, guess what? These people would all you people would be getting arrested. You, Jessica Tarloff, you'd be getting hauled off. All you people would be if he was a king. You dummies. You're saying all this shit. You don't know what you're talking about.
If the roles were reversed, everybody be arrested. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Jessica, what do you think as you look at these protests and what Joey just said about the lawful apprehension of individuals that ICE has worked on, cases that they've worked on, who they are, and the other people that they're rounding up have agitated against them or threatened them in some of these situations in the Broadview protests?
Sure, they certainly have rounded up some bad hombres, and I think if you attack a police officer, then you should be taken in and also get your due process rights. But we also know there was a ProPublica investigation that more than 170 Americans have been detained by ICE, with 20 held for more than a day without being able to contact their lawyer or a loved one. And that's what the No Kings protest is about. Donald Trump says,
does Jessica Tarloff know that it's actually 72 hours you could be held for without being charged? And
of course not.
They don't arrest you and then they in the car they hand you a phone to call your lawyer. It doesn't work that way. They don't have to let you call a lawyer unless they're going to question you. I'm sorry. Eventually, if they're going to question you, you have a right to an attorney. But if they're not questioning you, if they're just holding you, they don't have to let you make any phone calls. And that's just a fact. That's for any crime. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. And if you think it's not that way, go ahead and commit a crime and watch what happens. Start demanding they make your phone call and see what they tell you. Go fuck yourself. They'll tell you when you get to county jail, you can make your fucking phone call. Have a nice day.
You're going to tell me that this girl with the 879 in the back of her helmet's going to do something? Come on.
No.
We
get
like
it.
5
You're
foot
not a king.
nothing.
You wish you were a king, and
Oh,
you're running
you
this
wish you were a king.
administration as if you should have those kinds of rights. The lack of respect for the Constitution and the laws of this country are astounding. And Trump even told Kristen Welker when he was on Meet the Press a few months ago that he didn't know if he had to uphold the Constitution. And in preparation for today's show, I just wanted to go over a few of the things that people who are going to be out there on the streets peacefully protesting are upset about.
Bull.
Starting with the basics, signing an executive order to do away with birthright citizenship, which is literally in the Constitution.
No, it's not,
Sending
you
troops
fucking
into
liar.
blue cities.
Oh, you mean anchor babies?
Unilaterally implementing tariffs, which Congress gets to do. I already talked about the 170 Americans who've been locked up. Cracking down on the First Amendment, detaining students for op-eds you don't like, targeting law firms, universities, reallocating funds appropriated by Congress to fund your big ICE force, firing inspectors generals that are looking into your friends like Elon Musk, making billions off of crypto scams, and your kids are running all over the world making deals. And the Trump administration has defied 1 in 3 judges that have ruled against him. And you're seeing that from judges appointed up from Reagan up to Donald
He hasn't
Trump
defied any
that are
judges.
saying, absolutely not. You are breaking the law.
What
taking
world
some
does
of
she
these
live
actions.
in? Does she
All of
live
that
in
is what No
delusional
King's Day is
land?
about.
Then why are they always dressed like a furry, screaming about
They're not always.
like boys and girls
Well,
locker
to show
rooms?
how
I mean, we just showed
ridiculous.
it. Like they are ridiculous.
Wouldn't you rather they be in
Like
a
if they
costume
want to
for
make
Spirit
some sort of
Halloween,
intellectual
that-
argument, I don't think dressing up like a unicorn and running out there and screaming every time.
It
you
is
hear
an
the drum
intellectual
beat
argument to
is
say,
how you do
Christy
that.
Knowles,
That's just what I
you're
would tell
making it up about what's going on here at that ICE facility
Pikachu.
because I'm dressed as Pikachu
Whatever that is.
and posing no threat. They arrested a guy who was singing.
Well,
Did
if
you
it
hear
sounded
it? His
bad
voice
enough.
was terrible, Jessica.
All right,
You
Jesse,
deserve
let's
to be
bring the
locked up.
intellectuality to this.
Well, let's.
Trump a king.
Well,
As
I
Jessica
celebrate
just
No
laid out
King's
the argument
Day
for.
on July 4th with the rest of the normal Americans by barbecuing and lighting off fireworks.
That's right. Yeah, Data Republican says more information. The TLDR version is the State Department advisor, Indivisible co-founder Leah Greenberg, was congressional staffer to Rep. Tom Perillo, who would soon become Open Society's U.S. director when he took the helm. A massive grants were awarded to Lee. Meet the organizers behind the No Kings protest, Indivisible Lee Greenberg. All right.
Yeah.
Back in the streets, founded by former congressional staffers, Ezra Levin, funded by George Soros' Open Society Networks, Indivisible has grown from a viral guide into one of the most powerful grassroots networks in the U.S. It's not really grassroots if it's all being funded, you know.
NGOs need to be illegal. They need to be gone. Period.
Yeah.
Don't care what side, they need to be gone. Because this is all NGO stuff. Because they're not they're not held accountable by anything. They just funnel money through these little NGOs. George Soros does it, and so all these other people do it, and they're not held accountable.
The Veet MAGA. So these are the partners. Where did it go? Yeah. And so when you go to No King's website, you'll find over 100 partners listed. Many are familiar, many Soros-backed. They include names closely tied to DNC, such as Mark Elias's Democracy Forward. So, yeah, this is all the people working with them. You know. Got Crew, got Democracy Forward, End Citizens United, you know.
All communist organizations.
These are all
of
communist.
them.
Free DC, another communist, organization, Indivisible. Let's see. MoveOn.org. Oh, yeah. Move to Amend. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right here. Revolution Organized to Win. Yes, that's the National Action Network, communists. What else? Yeah. All these, all these things. They're all communists. All communists. They're all fucking commies. Fucking commies. I hate fucking commies. The first thing you notice about her LinkedIn is that she held an advisory position in the State Department despite having gotten her international relations BA only 6 years earlier. Oh, yeah, so that's the thing. She served as State Department, trained foreign policy, now leads the nation's largest protest. It is no coincidence. If you follow my feed, you know the connection between left-wing activism and international relations and the State Department runs deep. None of it's spontaneous. For years, subversive actors have worked stage color revolutions here at home. Yeah, that's the other thing is that one person, that Salt Lake City Queers or whatever, SLC Queers, that was part of the group that was connected to the guy who killed Charlie Kirk. They're connected to the State Department, going to Cuba and all these other shit and commies and stuff. So I'm saying these things are all interconnected. They're all commies, and we need to get back to the way it was, where commies are not people. They're not. It's in the Constitution. The Civil Rights Act. The Civil Rights Act says that they're not. They're not people. Communists. They're not protected. It's against the law to be a member of the Communist Party.
They're getting away with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's what's going on there. And then Fox says that Soros Foundation is helping fund the anti-Trump No Kings protest nationwide.
Here's why you should switch.
Honestly, I think it's his son, because George Soros is 100 years old.
Oh, he's old, but another one they're doing to me like this.
And didn't George Soros' son marry Clinton, like a Clinton advisor or Obama advisor?
No, Huma Abedin. It was Clinton's aide or whatever.
Yeah, all connected communists.
Now, most of you know that George and Alex Soros are causing real damage to the country. But is what they're doing illegal? Well, Donald Trump thinks so. Today, he urged that both be prosecuted under federal racketeering statutes known as RICO. Their organization, Open Society Foundations, has funneled millions into the groups behind the protests that we've seen over the last few years, like Indivisible. That's the group behind the national Tesla protests. It's gotten more than $7.6 million since 2017 from Soros' foundation. Then there are the protests here in Washington being put on by a group called Free DC. It also gets money from nonprofits like Community Change and Community Change Action. But where do they get money from? Well, again, you have to do this diagramming, but millions from that can be traced to left-wing dark money mega donors, which include George Soros and his foundations. So whether it's protesting Tesla or backing progressive DAs, his money has touched a lot, and not much of it is good, including illegal immigration.
We are going to need all of that fuel to continue to combat this administration that continues to bring political terror to our Black, brown, working families and immigrant communities.
The group is called CASA, which is fighting to keep alleged MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia here in the United States. That's also gotten money. In 2023, the Open Society Foundations awarded CASA a $250,000 grant, and CASA in Action, the group's political action committee, $1.6 million. Here with details is Caitlin Sutherland, director of Americans for Public Trust. Caitlin, sometimes doing the Soros connection can take a little work, but it's pretty obvious what's going on here. The Open Society Foundations, though, slammed Trump's Truth Social post, saying these accusations are outrageous and false. The Open Society Foundations do not support or fund violent protests. Our mission is to advance human rights, justice, and democratic principles at home and around the world. Your reaction to everything we just laid out?
Well, good evening, Laura, and thank you so much for having me on. And you did an excellent job of laying out the pattern of dark money to these protests that we're seeing popping up across the country. Because as you know, Washington, D.C., we have been absolutely ravaged by violent crime, and President Trump is fighting back. But who's there? It's George Soros and other extremist groups who are mobilizing and bankrolling protests to fight back against policies that are going to keep our streets safe. So time and time again, we see George Soros and other groups are the ones bankrolling these extremist protests across the country.
But how is that a violation of the law? That's the question. I mean, that's the thing that, they're incredibly annoying, and I think they obviously fund horrible things, and they result in bad outcomes like criminals being allowed with no bail for some of these prosecutions, or revolving justice, or criminals get to stay in the United States if they have their way. But the question is there a racketeering charge that will hold up in court, especially in a place like the District of Columbia, where the juries are stacked, the judges are overwhelmingly liberal. So he obviously has those hurdles. But what do you think the purpose behind Soros and his donations really is? A destabilization of the country?
Well, at first, Laura, you asked a really interesting
I think they need
point
to get the
that if
intelligence
this is
agency involved.
illegal, now, I'm not an attorney, but if George Soros or any other liberal dark money donor has done something illegal, then we should find out about it, and they absolutely should be held accountable. Because as you've laid out, behind these protests is often George Soros and his billions funding things that undermine our society and work to enact a pro-crime agenda, be it the protests in LA, to the anti-Semitic protests in college campuses, or as you just highlighted, electing county prosecutors who literally do not prosecute criminals. That is why following the money is so important with all these causes.
All right, Caitlin, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to read this.
Honestly, I would do two things. I would make NGOs illegal, and then I would force that if you're running for a local election, then you can only accept money from local donors. You can't take anybody outside of your district.
Should be. I mean, they're taking money from people outside of the country.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. So Soros Foundation.
All of them.
Yeah. Soros Foundation is helping fund the anti-Trump No Kings protests nationwide. George Soros Foundation is funding the protests that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and tens of thousands of protesters will be participating in on Saturday. A billionaire investor and notorious Democrat Party donor is the founder of the Open Society Foundation. In 2023, the foundation, through Open Society Action Fund, issued a 2-year grant of $3 million to Indivisible. The grant was to support the grantee's social welfare activities. Indivisible is managing data and communications with participants for the No Kings protest that will be taking place in Washington and across the country. Yeah, Joe McCarthy was on to something. He may have been. Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, Foxblade? Bless you, sir, and hope all's well with you and your family. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Everything seems to be going on. I had some computer troubles. I'm on an old computer, so I don't know. I had to ship it back. It bricked on me. It's the second time, actually. Let's see what happens. So, per the Open Society's website, Soros has given away $32 billion of his personal fortune to the foundation. $32 billion with a B. Wow. According to the website, Ezra Levin is executive co-director behind Leah Greenberg. Levin's wife serves as the other executive co-director. And Perillo was executive director for Open Society, furthering the ties between Soros and Indivisible. The guy ran for governor of Virginia. Indivisible received a $350,000 grant from Tides, another group affiliated with the Tides Network. Tides Foundation is also affiliated with the Tides Network and has been accused of funding the anti-Israel campus riots. Private donations are contracted. You can't take lobbies and private donations. The grant report for 2024 was not available on the IRS or Open Society website. These are all this is a map displays the proposals or planned locations for the No Kings protests on Saturday. I'm using Bella's desktop, yeah. Fox News reached out to Perillo, the Indivisible group, and Tides, but did not receive a response. Senator Ted Cruz was the first to sound the alarm on ties between Soros and No Kings during the interview with Fox's Sean Hannity on Thursday. There's considerable evidence that George Soros' network are behind the funding these rallies, which may well be riots across the country. Cruz introduced the financial underwriting of nefarious demonstrations and extremist riots Stop Funders Act in July. It would allow the Department of Justice to impose racketeer, influence, and corrupt organizations charges against individuals behind the funding of violent and extreme protests. Sounds good to me. The politicized march is being organized by Soros operatives. the Trump administration and Republicans in Congress are committed to countering this network of left-wing violence. Schumer announced on Thursday he would be attending the protest, saying that he will join marchers to celebrate what makes his country so great. Is he going to say that he's going to threaten the Supreme Court again and tell them he's going to tear down, they're going to bring down a whirlwind and they're going to pay a price?
He's a freaking communist. He's always been a communist.
Yeah. In addition to funding from Soros, the Communist Workers of America Union is also partnering with the No Kings protest. Oh, what do you know? The Communist Workers of America, yeah. The protests can be strenuous and intense, and how to prepare for a protest section in the Indivisible website. So, yeah. All right. We're on to the next story. This is very infuriating. So, the father accused of running over and killing a random Ohio deputy after police shot his son during a carjacking incident the day before has been ruled mentally ill and ineligible for the death penalty. His attorney, Clyde Bennett II, now plans to file a new plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Bennett says a court psychologist determined that Rodney Hinton Jr. has a serious mental illness that affects his judgment.
What state is this?
This is Ohio. I think it's the same mental illness thing that Ketanji Brown Jackson was talking about. The disability that black people have. It affects their judgment, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. Hold on a second. We got 50 seconds left in the first goal, but we already hit that goal. So in 50 seconds, I will restart another hour on the goal to see if we'll add a second additional hour. There's 110 people watching right now on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We got at least another hour of the show to go here. Probably about another hour and 10, hour and 20 minutes. We'll see. Probably going to do, 3.5 hours or so. I don't see very many other people streaming tonight, so no reason for you not to be here.
So I'm going to call it a night there, Jim.
You're going to take off? All right.
Yeah, I'm going to take off.
All right.
Appreciate you.
No problem. All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, he must sound like my joke. Let me fix the cameras real quick, then I'll get rolling here. Bella's hanging out on top now, like she should be. And Jim is here doing this. There we go. That's better. I like that better. All right. Now it's just us, boys. He doesn't have the stamina. No, it's hard for people. You have a 11:15 tea time. Hopefully I'm not the next Trump. Is he a black guy? Well, yeah. Hinton is no longer available for the death penalty under Ohio law. Prosecutors say Hinton intentionally drove a vehicle into Deputy Larry Henderson. Henderson was a Marine veteran, a husband, a father. The incident happened one day after Hinton watched police body cam footage showing his 18-year-old son, Ryan Hinton, being fatally shot by Cincinnati police. Police say Ryan was armed with a Glock 40 caliber handgun, loaded with an extended magazine and bullet in the chamber when he pointed a gun at the officer. So yeah, so this is the guy. They're going to show him. This is what he did when he went to court. What he does. Watch what he does to the cops.
Go. Based on the officer's interviews, the officer who did discharge his firearm said that when the individual came out between the dumpsters, he had the firearm in front of him. He was in like a bladed position, and it was pointed at the officer. And he felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm.
Mm-hmm. According to Justice KBJ, the disability is widespread. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I can't. This is crazy. So he's mentally ill to the point he can't be held liable for his actions, but he had a license and a bank account and a car and got married and had a job. Didn't know a mentally insane person had the ability to do everything but be held responsible for the crimes they commit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Sorry, you'll get used to reading all the autocorrects. I don't know what that means. You were chilling with your vape Zeppelin and missed the joke. Trial pushed back for man accused of murdering deputy.
All season long, the game is on at the Levee.
We got 11 seconds. Well, look at this. 8 seconds. Wow, Cincinnati. I don't know. I thought the people in Cincinnati were a lot fatter than that.
Back in Lincoln, Nebraska, friends and family write messages to Michelle on purple balloons, her favorite color, and a color that has come to represent domestic violence awareness.
It shouldn't come to this point where multiple...
I don't understand this. What does this have to do with this story? The trial for the man accused of murdering a Hamilton County deputy has been pushed back by 3 months. Rodney Hinton Jr. will now go on trial April 6th instead of January 12th. The change comes at the request of his attorneys, who said that a court found they would not be ready. Earlier this week, Bennett announced that a court-appointed psychologist who examined Hinton found he suffers from serious mental illness that impairs his rational judgment. This makes Hinton ineligible for the death penalty under Ohio law. The results of the first mental evaluation are set to be revealed in court in December. Bennett says he plans to file a new plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, but so far has not. Prosecutors want a second opinion on Hinton's mental competency. Fingers, what? In 10 more years, you learn Zeppelin was the hot airplane. Yeah. The terrible, they are seeking the death sentence for Hinton on charges of aggravated murder, and felonious assault in the slaying of Deputy Larry Henderson. In a terrible tragedy that stunned the tri-state and made global news, Deputy Henderson was killed in the line of duty as he worked traffic control for the University of Cincinnati's graduation ceremony. Prosecutors say he purposely drove a vehicle into the 57-year-old grandfather, father, husband, foster parent, and U.S. Marine. And we saw the video of the guy in court when after he got arrested for killing the cop, basically bragging and staring down the other cops and talking about it. That doesn't sound like somebody who was mentally unwell and didn't know what they were doing. It sounds like somebody who's happy and proud of what they did. Just saying. Yeah, Iron Butterflies is good too. Yeah. Shortly before the killing, Hinton watched body cam footage of his son being fatally shot by a Cincinnati police officer prior day. Hinton fled from police during a stolen car investigation. He was armed with a Glock 40 caliber handgun, a fully loaded extended magazine, and a bullet in the chamber when he pointed the weapon at the officer. The officer made a split-second decision that likely saved his life and the lives of other officers, and he was legally justified in the use of force. Rodney Hinton Jr. is receiving mental health treatment while being held without bond at the Claremont County Jail. Yeah, not insane, just evil. I agree. He recently disclosed in court that he was currently taking Lexapro, an antidepressant prescribed to treat depression and anxiety. So, what are they trying to say, that people that take Lexapro can just kill people and get away with it? Is that what they're trying to say? I don't think that's the way it works. But anyway, I forgot to restart the goal. So let me do this. So, yeah. All right. So I'm going to start a new goal. All right. And it's going to be for 1 hour. And if we hit this goal, I will add another hour to the show. We are currently, we're currently $72 away from a second additional hour. So I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. Okay. Is he trans too? No, if he was trans too, they would have just let him go already. They would have said, you can just go. You've seen Iron Butterfly many times. Inagata Davida. And it says the man accused of murdering deputy is mentally ill and eligible for the death penalty. The attorney says. Is this going to be a different story too?
When your life is uncertain, you need
a court-appointed psychologist examined the man accused of murdering the Hamilton County deputy and determined he suffers from a serious mental illness that impairs his rational judgment. I mean, isn't that true of a whole bunch of people?
that discussion.
According to a survey from the National Sexual Assault Resource Center.
No. Okay. Rodney Hinton Jr.'s lawyer, Clyde Bennett II, in the Garden of Eden. No, Eden. Garden of Eden. No, but the song is Inagata Davida, if I'm not mistaken. It's not In the Garden of Eden. It's spelled Inagata Davida. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the song. Unless I'm going crazy. The outcome of the report, Bennett maintains, clearly shows Hinton is now ineligible for the death penalty. From the beginning of the case, I repeatedly and emphatically stated that Hinton was mentally ill at the time of the offense, did not understand the wrongfulness of his conduct. Now, an independent, neutral, objective opinion from a court-appointed certified forensic psychologist confirmed that fact. The doctor opined that Mr. Hinton has a combination of serious mental illness, bipolar disorder, and psychosis. At the time he committed the offense, and those serious mental illness significantly impaired his ability to exercise rational judgment. Yes. There were nachos with that name. Yeppers. Jim is correct. I should watch those big pharma commercials. They're actually quite horrifying. I'll pass. DuckDuckGo blocked his posts to prevent Facebook from tracking you. Let's see, what is this? Unblock the Facebook post. What does it say? Yeah. From the beginning of this case, I repeatedly said that I'm going to try to get my guy off. Hinton, 38, is facing a possible death sentence if convicted on charges of aggravated murder. If it is determined that he suffered from serious mental illness when he killed a veteran law enforcement official, however, the death penalty as possible sentence is barred under Ohio law. Iron Butterfly disappeared mysteriously like Jimmy Hoffa. Some people theorize he took off in a UAP. It's maybe. The Hamilton County prosecutor said Wednesday they are seeking a second opinion. Hamilton County prosecutor Connie Pillich isn't commenting on it until hearings are complete. More details about Hinton's first mental evaluation are expected to be revealed when the psychologist who handled that one testifies in court on December 1st. Only black people get off for bipolar. Is that true? Is that a fact? In the meantime, Hamilton County Common Pleas Court Judge Jody Lubbers told the state and Hinton's defense team at least 3 times during Wednesday's hearing that under no circumstances either side to share Hinton's mental evaluation. So the judge told him not to do it, and the guy did it anyway? Sounds like a problem. In a terrible tragedy that stunned the tri-state area, Deputy Henderson was killed in the line of duty. They say he purposely drove his vehicle. Yeah, he admitted it. We played it. He admitted it in court when he was getting arraigned. He brags, "Yeah, I killed him. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? I'll kill you too." That's what he said. The grieving father just watched body cam footage of his 18-year-old son being fatally shot. So, Hinton's trial is set for January 12th, but a backup date of April 13th. We'll see what happens. Got to keep an eye on it. No, this is Ohio. Ohio. And then this is crazy. Next story. Here we go. Polish court denied the extradition to Germany of a Ukrainian national suspected of blowing up the Nord Stream 2. And they released him from custody. And rightly so. Case closed. Donald Tusk, this communist that somehow got elected in Poland, which I thought Poland learned their lesson about communism, but I guess not. Donald Tusk. Yeah. So they just said, "Oh, it's okay. We're going to let the guy go that blew up the Nord Stream 2. So what you're saying, it's okay to blow up infrastructure in the EU as long as you get to feel righteous and take the moral high ground, but didn't feel like going through legal channels of shutting it down. Glad to see Europe is still the land of law and order." Negata de vida loca. Negata de vida loca, baby. Don't get the gun on police and you won't get shot. Alexander Kwasniewski is from Poland, isn't he? The Burisma guy. Look at this. Kolachevsky and Kwasniewski, former Polish president, joined Burisma's board. Same time as Hunter Biden. What do you know? And Igor Kolmanovsky, so Ukrainian oligarch. So all these skis. You know why they spell their last name with ski? Because they can't spell toboggan. Bum. This guy says, that's fake news. Just the extradition case in Poland is closed. The warrant still exists with all other Schengen states, whatever that is. And now is the question, did Poland help Ukraine attack Germany to destroy critical infrastructure with enormous damage for the German economy? Yes. Yes. Yes, that's a dad joke. Yes. It's the Snarfsky clan. Yes. No Jabsky. Lol. Yes. I hope so. The critical infrastructure you're talking about was all about greed from Germany. Doing it by the bottom of the sea was 5 times the cost of doing it by land. So, oh yeah, these communists. 0 followers fake account is embarrassing. The public prosecutor office in Germany cannot issue a European arrest warrant because it is bound by instructions. They have instructions. They have rules. Mike Ben says, holy shit, they let the Nord Stream pipeline bomber go and close the case to protect the Ukraine and Biden CIA. That's what they did. Maybe Trump should step in and do something about it. Yeah. Polish court blocks extradition and frees the Ukrainian suspect in the Nord Stream pipeline blasts. Warsaw, Poland, a Polish court on Friday blocked the extradition to Germany of a Ukrainian man suspected of blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, a ruling that was welcomed by Poland's prime minister. Jim, did you see Mike Pence maybe was doing some hinky stuff with Bolton? I read an article today that said classified materials may be linked to him. Yeah, I saw some stuff about that. I saw some stuff also that, Mike Pence, I think, is literally a traitor. He really is a traitor to the country. And the Blastowski clan. Okay. Cool. Biden blew it up. Yeah. Volodymyr Zurkalok, 46, was arrested near Warsaw on September 30th on a German warrant. German prosecutors have described him as a trained diver and alleged he was part of the group that placed explosives on the pipeline near the Danish island of Bornholm 3 years ago. Yeah, he's a Judas. Yes, he is. He's a Judas. From Subvertistan, yeah. Anyone under AIPAC is basically working for a foreign nation. Oh, yeah, I concur. A Warsaw District Court rejected his extradition and ordered his immediate release. Man's lawyer, Tomasoju Paprocki, said ahead of the hearing that my client doesn't admit guilt, he didn't commit any crime against Germany, and doesn't understand why these charges were made by the German side. I know nothing. He said that he wouldn't argue that no Ukrainian should be charged with any action directed. He also argued that no Ukrainian should be charged at any action directed against Russia. So he's basically admitting they did it. Like, well, we're at war with Russia so we could blow up the pipeline, even though it was a German pipeline. Judge points to a just war. The judge, Darius Lubovsky, said he announced his ruling that the attack on the pipeline should be understood as a military action in a just war, and therefore not subject to criminal responsibility on part of an individual. He also questioned Germany's jurisdiction for various reasons, including the fact that the explosions occurred in international waters. Poland, whose successive governments have been staunchly anti-Russian, have a history of opposition to the pipelines. Prime Minister Tusk said he believed it would not be in Poland's interest to hand over the suspect. Tusk said he noted that he rejected the extradition, and rightly so. Case closed. The undersea explosions on September 26th severely damaged the pipelines. The damage added to tensions over the war in Ukraine as European countries moved to wean themselves off Russian energy sources following the Kremlin's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The explosions ruptured the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, which was inaugurated in 2011 and carried Russian natural gas to Germany under the Baltic Sea until Russia cut off supplies at the end of August 2022. They also damaged a parallel Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which never entered service because Germany suspended its certification process shortly before Russia invaded Ukraine. Germany had previously pushed ahead with the Nord Stream 2 project despite opposition from the Central and Eastern European countries and the U.S., which argued it would increase Europe's dependence on Russian gas and give Russia the possibility of using gas as a geopolitical weapon. Yeah, if only Germany listened to Trump and not buy gas from Russia, they wouldn't have energy issues right now. Yeah, well. Tusk said earlier this month that the problem with Europe, the problem with Ukraine, the problem with Lithuania and Poland is not that Nord Stream 2 was blown up, it's that it was built. Oh. But it was built. And it was built with people's tax dollars. The only people who should be ashamed and quiet about Nord Stream 2 are those that decided to build it. Oh, so he's telling them to shut up, that we blew up your pipeline. Because you built it, so we had to blow it up. And these people are supposed to be allies? Doesn't sound like any fucking allies. Really. I guess the Poles are still pissed at Germany for that whole little border skirmish that happened in 1939. Yeah, now they buy gas from the U.S., and which caused all our gas prices to go through the fucking roof. German prosecutors also seek an extradition from Italy. At the time of his arrest, Zerklowicz was a resident of Poland where he lived with his wife and children. Polish prosecutors say his wife has told the Polish media her husband is innocent, that they were together in Poland at the time the pipelines were blown up. Oh, so she's got an alibi. He is one of 2 Ukrainians whose extradition German judicial authorities have been trying to secure in the case. A man suspected to have been one of the coordinators of the attack was arrested in Italy in August. This week, Italy's top court annulled the lower court's decision to order his extradition and called for another panel of judges to reassess the case. So this is it. Yeah, Biden is Poland is protecting Biden. Yeah, and clearly Italy's going to, high courts, they're going to step in and they're going to protect these, keep this from happening. Clearly, the U.S. was involved in this thing being blown up. That's all I'll say. Clearly. The German government has declined to comment on Tusk's remarks this month and has noted the ongoing proceedings are in prosecutors' hands. Neither the government nor German federal prosecutors who are in charge of the case had any comment on Friday's ruling. Gerhard Molson in Berlin contributed to this report. The Straits Times just says the same thing. They're refusing to deport, to extradite the guy who blew up the pipeline, which they should charge him. He should be charged with the environmental damages for all the stuff that leaked, all the global warming he caused. He destroyed the planet. We lost years off the planet because of this guy. That's what they should be charging him with. You say, what, you don't care about the planet? You don't care about global warming? Really? You don't care about global warming? Global warming? Hold on 1 second. Oh. Okay, cool. This is awesome. We're doing great tonight. I'm going to say to the 116 people who are here now, please remember to hit the like button. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and participate in the chat. Say something. Talk to people. The players are foreign. Natural gas is inert until it burns. Ocean wildlife lost. Yeah, they destroyed all this stuff. They did. They killed everything. Although Orser said the decision about whether should be transferred to Germany was one for the courts, Prime Minister Tusk, Commie Tusk, says that this month that handing him over was not in Poland's interest. So maybe he told them what to do. The judge said that it's in his verdict that ruled that Germany's application was not admissible. If Ukraine was indeed the organizer of this act of aggression, then only Ukraine can be held responsible for this event. Ukraine has denied involvement in the explosions. Oh. So basically they're saying that you can only... Okay, so maybe Germany should arrest Vladimir Zelensky then. That's what I would do. Arrest that fucking midget. And it's all over the place. It's Seattle Times, same thing. Polish court blocks the extradition of the guy who blew up the pipeline. Yeah. Oh, and we got this news. This story I found very interesting. I wanted to share with you guys onto this story. Popular Democrat homeless activist in Charlotte has just been raided by the FBI for running a $14.5 million healthcare fraud scheme by taking advantage of homeless and submitting false claims to Medicaid. Mm-hmm. Mobile Crisis. Cedric Dean Holdings Incorporated. Oh, you look at that. Apparently, he's also friends with former councilwoman Tijuana Brown, who was indicted this year on federal charges for stealing $115,000 in COVID funds. She threw herself a $15,000 birthday party with a throne and horse-drawn carriage. Mm-hmm. Zelensky will sneak out of the country in a carnation flower hoodie onesie with cozy little footsies. Probably. Aren't they always pissed off? When did I miss something? Mm-hmm. All that stealing just to have a ghetto screened-in porch? Shameful. Charlotte is a cesspool. What happened? If you're living like a pimp, then you probably aren't living for the homeless. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is the guy. I'm a pimp, Mac Daddy, and I'm looking for the homeless. Yeah. She threw herself a birthday party with a $15,000 horse-drawn carriage. I think we need to start to understanding that the reason the homeless population exploded in blue cities is that is enabled a massive illegal grift local polls benefited from. Yeah. I think that's it too. I think they get massive amounts of money. Michael Franchise said it best. The government is basically doing exactly what the mob does, but legally. Yeah, they do. It's a big scam. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, this is what I voted for. The FBI raided BLM activists' properties for alleged multi-million-dollar Medicaid fraud scheme.
Now at noon, FBI officials are in a home near the Palisades as part of an investigation. Thank you for joining us. I'm Naya Hardin, but this is happening right now on Youngblood Road. WBTV investigates. David Hodges is on the scene and has been digging deeper to find out what is going on. David, what is happening right now?
Yeah, Naya, we're still trying to get information. I have spoken with one of the agents here, but right now I just want to actually show you the scene because that gives you the best idea of what's going on here on Youngblood Road. You can see most of these cars are undercover but have blue flashing lights. You see the occasional CMPD cruiser as well, but I went over and spoke with one of the agents, and this is an FBI investigation. I've confirmed from an FBI spokesperson that this is a court-authorized investigation, but that is about all the information they are giving right now. Like I said, we got here at about 11:30, so we've been on scene for 30 minutes. This is about the amount of cars that have been here. You can see that the driveway is blocked by one of these undercover cars with blue flashing lights. What I've been doing since we arrived, and even before that a little bit, is actually digging into who owns this home, which is somebody that we have reported on some in the past. His name is Cedric Dean, a community activist, and runs services for the homeless and some of the population who are underserved in Mecklenburg County. So we're digging deeper into that aspect of it, but all we have right now from the FBI, again, is that this is a court-authorized investigation. I'll be digging deeper into the other aspects.
I turned it up as loud as it would go. It was up to 450, so I apologize. Got this one here. You know, yeah, like the Baltimore Safe Streets program, it's just a way for the mayor to launder money and run drugs through it. Yeah, it is, man. We did see some of it last night, KPT, but there's more to the story now. More stuff published and came out about it, so that's why I'm covering it again. Basically, more information, that we didn't have yesterday. I didn't have these stories yesterday. Oh.
How proud I am. That's how I feel right now.
That is Charlotte community activist Cedric Dean during a 2022 interview with Queen City News about his lawsuit over city council redistricting Tonight, Dean's the focus of a different legal case. FBI agents raided his home in an investigation into allegations of healthcare fraud. Thanks for joining us at 10 tonight. I'm Brian Blakely. We have federal court documents accusing Dean and his company of fraudulently billing Medicaid for mental health services never provided. But as of tonight, Dean's not facing any formal charges. Queen City News reporter Shakira Speaks shows us how the FBI went looking for evidence today.
Neighbors have been keeping an eye on this white home for weeks after noticing several different people and moving trucks constantly at the home. It belongs to a local community activist, Cedric Dean. And on Thursday, neighbors' suspicions were confirmed when they saw several FBI agents surrounding the property. How many people do you think lived in?
No idea. I've seen quite a few cars.
Neighbors on McChesney Road and
Oh, you like my hair? Thanks.
what was going on at this home.
There was always so many cars in the driveway.
Yeah, so many.
Follow up is good. I like.
Thursday, they opened their doors to find federal agents raiding the house. County records show the home is owned by Cedric Dean, a local community activist.
He's disabled. He didn't know what he was doing. He had no self-control. He just had to steal them.
Safe and that.
Yeah, he had no self-control. He's disabled. You know, you know, they have a mental illness that prevents them from, you know, making rational judgments like not stealing money every fucking time they see it.
We're comfortable to live here and all of that. And when all those people were coming and going and the moving trucks were coming and going and bringing things and leaving, then we just kind of kept our eye on the house.
According to federal documents, investigators accused Dean and his company, Cedric Dean Holdings, of running a Medicaid fraud scheme that started last September. Documents obtained by Queen City News claimed Dean's group targeted vulnerable homeless people at shelters and other places. Dean allegedly offered small payments, offered free food, and even housing in exchange for their Medicaid numbers.
It was a little surprising to see the FBI and a lot of assault weapons.
Dean's business is accused of filing
assault weapons, not assault weapons.
Fraudulent Medicaid claims from
not
September
salty weapons.
2024
That's crazy.
to June 2025. Investigators say he received almost $9 million in payments. Now, the government is seizing money from 3 accounts, 5 cars, 2 houses in Charlotte, and 2 more in Shelby. But this isn't the first time Dean has been involved with law enforcement. His criminal record dates back to the 1980s, including a 2-decade federal prison sentence on a cocaine conviction. Dean's also accused of forcing his way into a woman's apartment last May.
See? He spent 2 decades in prison for cocaine conviction, but now he's this community activist who's getting all this money from the fucking government. That's right. He's disabled according to the DEI SCOTUS Jackson. That's correct. So, you like the skin around my hair? I mean, I think I got a pretty decent hairline for my age. You know, I don't know. Yeah, surprise, surprise, surprise. A long criminal record. They gave him money for the homeless. What the fuck is wrong with us? You ain't kidding, right? See, that's why the story, when I saw this, I said, oh, I gotta cover this again, because we didn't have any of this information. And you need cocaine for the comic book I'm making. Well, would make you write much faster.
With police stating his past criminal charges of assault, armed robbery, and kidnapping.
We always gave him the business.
Oh, and did you hear that? Did you hear that? So not only did he spend 2 decades in prison for cocaine, he also been arrested for assault, kidnapping, and armed robbery. What do you mean cocaine doesn't make you do anything better? Dude, I'll have you know that the Pope himself and presidents used to do cocaine back in, the 20s and 30s. It was very posh. Been around for a long time. They used to use cocaine to actually numb people. Before Novocaine, they used cocaine to numb people to do dental work. Yeah, World War II, pilots did cocaine to stay awake. Yeah, it is par for the course. It is. It is par for the course. Did he get his reparations early? I think he's going to get his. He's going to get his. Yeah, it was in Coca-Cola. That's right. That's why they called it Coca-Cola, because of the cocaine. Cocaine. Cocaine.
Benefit of the doubt when he moved in, thinking that he was helping people.
The investigation is
Oh. Yeah, so they thought he was helping people. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. The FBI raided the home of the well-known community activist. Court documents indicate that Dean and his company are accused of fraudulently billing Medicaid for mental health services that were never provided. Never mind. We're not going to watch that. They've seized his bank accounts, vehicles, and 2 RVs and luxury SUVs. He's the founder and CEO of the HELP program. They always come up with these good names like HELP, H-E-A-P program. He once found the Pope in the pizza. And Pepsi. Well, Pepsi was it because it had Pepsid in it for your, for your stomach, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think Pepsi ever had cocaine in it, but it might have. But Pepsi, I thought, was a Pepsid type of thing. And they claimed that cocaine was a dietary aid at one point. That it helped with, with food, like digesting food, digestive aid or something. I don't know. Supposedly, cocaine is the best anesthetic for eye surgery. Stops twitching. I don't know. Anytime I did cocaine, I always had to shake, like twitch and stuff like that. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. We're just here to make sure it's safe and we're comfortable living here. There's always so many cars in the driveway. I bet you he was still up to some drug dealing or something like that too. If there's cars coming and going all the time, because generally speaking, they don't. Generally speaking, you can't. A leopard doesn't change their spots. 7-Up used to have lithium in it. Really? Wow. Well, I'm trying to think. Cool Runnings, man. I'm trying to think of that commercial, 7-Up commercial with the guy that did the stuff. And this update came today at 9 o'clock in the morning, or yesterday at 9 in the morning. So basically says, court record filed on Thursday from federal prosecutors say Charlotte activists obtained millions of dollars in fraud. Dean paid people in return for their Medicaid beneficiary information with food or temporary housing. He hired some staff, it said, but not enough to provide services. He billed Medicaid for approximately $1 million per month, but did not offer any services. In total, he had submitted claims for more than $14.5 million in Medicaid funds and received more than $8 million. He used some of that money to buy vehicles, jewelry, and properties. I think he's going to end up spending another couple decades, at least another decade or so in prison. They Kurt couldn't find his 7-Up. Dean's work housing people has raised questions elsewhere. A property for substance use treatment that he ran in Fayetteville got shut down by the city's fire marshal because Dean didn't have a required permit. In that case, too, the city's noted questionable Medicaid billing practices. Earlier this year, Dean came to the defense of Charlotte City Council member Tiwana Brown, who faces federal fraud charges in a different controversy. She's accused of lying to receive pandemic relief and using some of that funds for her own birthday party. So yeah, so see, they're all disabled. They're just disabled people. You can't help. They can't help it. They're disabled. You can go to NPPES registry and search any healthcare professional by name if you want to check anyone. You know what they say? You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself, boo. That's right. This story, I saw this, man, and this blew my mind, man. This blew my mind. GoFundMe caught creating over 1 million NGO pages and accepting donations without them knowing. Too soon for what? Oh, no. Never too soon for that. GoFundMe has taken it upon itself to create nonprofit pages for 1.4 million 501c3 organizations using public IRS data along with information from trusted partners like PayPal. GoFundMe has created nonprofit pages for more than 1 million charities using public data. The corruption taking place in America is beyond comprehension, and absolutely no one ever goes to jail.
Tonight, 7 on Your Side is looking into a new product that GoFundMe uses to solicit donations for nonprofit organizations.
Except in one local case, the organization had no idea. 7 on Your Side, Stephanie Sierra is live with the story tonight. Steph.
Yes, Alma and Dan, GoFundMe has created nonprofit pages for more than 1 million charities using public data. But as we learned from a local 7 on Your Side viewer, some of these nonprofits are unaware these pages even exist. Dave Dornless is the treasurer for the Friends of the San Bruno Public Library and the president of the San Bruno Amateur Radio Club. Recently, he got a call from the library that left him puzzled.
One of our patrons at the library wanted to make a donation in someone's name who had passed away.
He says the person went online and found a GoFundMe page tied to the library's nonprofit and wanted to know if it was legit.
And it's something that we did not set up. We weren't sure what was going on.
Turns out GoFundMe created the page, but Dave had no clue, and he's not the only one. GoFundMe has taken upon itself to create nonprofit pages for 1.4 million 501c3 organizations using public IRS data along with information from trusted partners like the PayPal Giving Fund,
which really make it easy for nonprofit organizations to connect with our community of over 200 million on GoFundMe. And so what we were finding is people were already coming to GoFundMe to organically support nonprofit organizations.
Krista Lamp is the senior director of nonprofit communications at GoFundMe. She
I
explains
think they broke the
some
law, though.
nonprofits will claim the page, meaning the organization has full visibility over donor data, donor stewardship, branding, and how they choose to leverage their page. But according to Dave, both the library and radio club nonprofits were not claimed, leaving him frustrated GoFundMe didn't consult him first.
And the fact that they would just on their own build pages for nonprofits that they've never spoken to is a problem. I'm a believer in opt-in, not opt-out.
Based on his comments to us, is there an opportunity in the future for GoFundMe to contact these nonprofits directly prior to creating the pages?
I think they broke the law.
Communicate and speak to the nonprofits directly.
I think they broke the law. I think that's a problem. You cannot take money for charities without the charity's permission. GoFundMe broke the fucking law because what they're basically trying to do is they're trying to corner the market on all donations, like anything. You can't do this. You cannot take money in someone's name without their fucking permission. You can't. Is what a question? I'm talking a song. I'm asking a question. I'm making a statement. I think so too.
Is always beneficial for us. We plan to do even more communication directly to nonprofits.
Dave says he struggled to find anyone to contact from GoFundMe about this, so he reached out to 7 on Your Side for help.
Only after you became involved, they contact us. They also solicit a tip of 14.5%. In other words, they say, we're doing this and we're great people and give us 14.5% to do this, which doesn't have to happen. And that's what bothers me.
When we checked, the optional tip was actually set for 16.5%. The consumer is required to move the bar to adjust accordingly.
These completely optional contributions really make it possible for us to offer our fundraising tools, our customer support, and really support our global team of trust and safety experts.
The tip would be in addition to a 2.2% transaction fee GoFundMe charges nonprofits, plus 30 cents per donation. That fee goes up to 2.9% for individual fundraisers. Now, both GoFundMe pages of Dave's nonprofits have been removed from the site. Any organization can do so by clicking Unpublish on the platform.
Oh, I'm being a buzzkill. GoFundMe donations are voluntary. How am I going to pay for my mansion? I'm sorry, KPT. I'm just saying I don't like GoFundMe. GoFundMe is a leftist organization, and they should be shut down. All right, they are very political, and what they're doing by I believe they're breaking the law. I believe they're breaking the law by accepting donations in someone's name. There's very strict rules about taking donations, especially for nonprofits, things that are, tax deductible and charities. And I think they broke, at a minimum, some IRS laws, if not direct federal law. So, and well, I hope you get your mansion. I agree. What's peck away? I don't know what you're talking about. Annoying. So, and here, yeah. And it was very difficult. I'm going to tell you right now, it was very difficult for me to actually find a story written about this. It's just like no one wants to talk about it. So yeah, they created 1.4 million donation pages for nonprofits. Why do we have so many nonprofits in the U.S.? All these people that are raising money and not having to pay taxes. Seems like, is that what I should do? Should I open up a nonprofit called Jim Tells You? And it's a nonprofit, so that way, it's just like, hey, I'm helping people. I'm just giving them information. So it's not for profit. It's just for, except for the salary that I'll pay myself and all that. But other than that, it won't be, no profits. It's just going to be a salary for myself. Seems, to me, it seems crazy. Oh, too much house to clean. No, thank you on the mansion. Well, you get the mansion, then you just get a house, someone to come and clean it for you. That's all. You get a cleaner. What's it say? Family members of murder victims start going to GoFundMe for burials. The damn state pays for that. It's crazy. Yeah. Salary and bonuses. Definitely. So, yeah. This basically the same story here. So, a new product will go for these tenants solicit donations for 4 nonprofit organizations, but it's several organizations had no clue the pages existed. So yeah, so here it is. So yeah, they didn't set it up. We saw the whole thing, so I'm not going to go through it. But this is something that I think, we should reach out to our Congress people. We should reach out to, people. It needs to stop. They're designed. Their whole purpose for them, they're inserting themselves in front of these organizations nonprofits already have a fundraising mechanism. They already have a mechanism to raise funds. So what GoFundMe is doing is they're inserting themselves into that to take, take a cut, kind of like the mob did. It's nice business you got here. Be ashamed if someone threw a brick through your window. That's kind of what GoFundMe is doing. Yeah, and he says, yes, all these systems are designed to siphon taxpayer dollars and swindle vulnerable giving people. It is. Impotent. Oh, are you a mummy? You're impotent. You're like the new mummy, the guy. From Lives of TikTok, an illegal driving a truck with no valid commercial driver's license allegedly swerved into traffic and killed a person in Indiana. He now has a detainer hold. Democrats shut down the government because they want to give him taxpayer-funded health care.
A deadly crash that left one person dead, another arrested. Police say a semi-driver, Bracco Stankovic here, swerved into oncoming...
Bracco Stankovic. This guy's name is Stankovic.
Semi-driver, Bracco Stankovic here, swerved into oncoming traffic, hitting a Subaru head-on. The 54-year-old driver was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators say Stankovic did not have a valid commercial driver's license and was using a suspended license belonging to a family member. He is now charged with reckless homicide, among other charges. He's being held on an ICE detainer due to his immigration status. A deadly crash that left one person dead, another...
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. This is the second story out of Indiana I've seen. The video is also from Indiana. Another foreign truck driver in Indiana driving the wrong way. Thank God someone's seen him. All right? This is happening all over the place.
Let me ask you a question, man. Okay. You are going the wrong way down the freeway. You are committing a felony right now. Okay, what I'm doing, sir? Well, one, why the fuck going the wrong way down the freeway? That's right. I'm doing it back. Go ahead, sir. Well, no, I'm just asking because I'm so sorry, but when it's I go that side, when that's not. Yeah, turn around when you have a clear spot. Okay. Don't even move your truck. Turn your hazard lights on for one. Okay. Turn your hazard lights on now. Your hazard lights, your blinkers, turn your hazard lights on.
This guy clearly
They're
doesn't
on.
speak
Okay.
proper English. This is crazy, right? That's what's going on. Yeah. This is a thread with more details on his arrest. All right. So, Portland County, Indiana, on Wednesday, Bronco Stankovic was arrested for reckless homicide and is accused of driving a Freightliner semi-tractor trailer without a CDL, causing the death. Fox 32 News, that's Chicago, Fox 32 News, is reporting that an immigration detainer hold investigation revealed that Stankovic did not possess a CDL, nor was he his company registered through the Department of Transportation. So he had a bogus company too. So, and then where was that? I want to go back for a second. So, Allegan News said GoFundMe seems to be doing consumer fraud. The page they have created appears as an official page of a nonprofit, and in doing so, they're profiting from the false representation. I agree. I think it's a federal crime, like wire fraud and all types of other stuff too, because it's interstate. They're affecting interstate commerce and stuff like that. So I think the feds need to step in. Speaking of GoFundMe, is it connected to Soros? Larry Ellison will replace it with his stuff. Him and Thiel and the others were part of the PayPal mafia. They're interested in controlling finances too. Well, yeah, no humans in the toll booths is the term either. Yeah, that's right. They got rid of all the humans in the toll booths during COVID and stuff like that. You know, what are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. 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 Media coverage. I think we saw this already.
Police say a semi-driver, Brako Stankovic here, swerved into oncoming traffic, hitting a Subaru head-on. The 54-year-old driver was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators say Stankovic did not have a valid commercial driver's license and was using a suspended license belonging to a family member. He is now charged with reckless homicide, among other charges. He's being held.
Okay, we saw this. Sorry about that. So now we got this one. This is very interesting. We got a Chinese national, Xingsheng Wang, here on a Biden AutoPen student visa, is arrested in Los Angeles for drugging and raping multiple women after placing incapacitating drugs in their food and or drinks between 2021 and 2024. You're taking that name, Stankovic? Or this one, Xingsheng Wang? Xingsheng Wang?
LAPD detectives say along with federal agents, they received tips from German authorities in January to zero in on this man, 30-year-old Chinese national and USC graduate student, Cizhe Wang.
Received information from German authorities regarding a potential suspect in drug-facilitated sexual assaults in the city of Los Angeles.
Federal agents and local police launching an investigation uncovering enough evidence to arrest Wang.
On August 28th, Cizhe Wang, a 30-year-old Chinese national who was in the United States for the purpose of graduate studies at the University of Southern California, was arrested for rape of an intoxicated person, and his residence was searched.
Detectives say upon searching Wang's home, they discovered he could be linked to multiple other alleged crimes.
Evidence was recovered at Wang's residence that corroborated his involvement in drug-facilitated sexual assaults of multiple victims, dating back to 2021 and continuing into 2025.
The LA County DA says Wang is now accused of raping 3 women and placed drugs in their food or drinks. But LAPD detectives say they do not have an exact number of women who may have been victimized.
On September 2nd, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office filed 8 felony counts against Wang, including rape, sodomy, and sexual penetration involving drugs or anesthesia. Wang is currently being held without bail in the custody of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. The Los Angeles Police Department is providing this information to the public in an attempt to identify additional victims of Wang.
Wow, additional victims of Wang. Mm-hmm. Yeah. More crap from the Biden reign of terror on America. FJB and FKH. Yeah, accountability. Elections matter. Thanks, Biden. Yeah, that's right. Surprise you're against people who rape multiple women. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah. An illegal foreign national living in a sanctuary state of Oregon has been sentenced to 24 months in federal prison for being part of a conspiracy where more than $2.4 million of public funds meant for food insecure families was stolen. Yeah. Bang Ding Ao. Yeah. And Wang Hung. That's right. Get all the jokes out now, people. Get them all out now. We Too Low. Bing Dang Ow. Bang Bang Ow. Bing Bang 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 Bong. Bing Bong. Bong Bang Bang Bong Bong. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a nice NASCAR pull down rope. Italian national unlawfully residing in Oregon sentenced to federal prison for conspiring to defraud the United States. Giovanni Spietta was sentenced to 24 months in federal prison and 3 years of supervised release. He's also ordered to pay $61,000 in restitution. According to court documents from August to October of 2023 to 2024, Spietta and his co-conspirators used electronic skimming devices to steal SNAP benefits and then encoded stolen data on cloned EBT transfer cards. They illegally purchased items with the stolen benefits. They shared stolen account information with members and organizations who, along with him, used the stolen benefits to purchase large quantities of infant formula, energy drinks, and other SNAP-eligible non-perishable food items from grocery stores in Oregon, Washington, and California, and through websites associated with grocery stores offering curbside pickup. Over the course of this conspiracy, the group purchased more than 12,000 pounds of goods, 120,000 pounds of goods, and stored them at residential properties and storage units in Oregon and Washington until they were packaged and transported to California in private vehicles or commercial carriers. The fraudulent goods with an estimated value of $2.4 million were then sold on the black market. Mm-hmm. Protecting government-funded programs like SNAP isn't just about preserving funds, it's about safeguarding the trust and the vital lifeline that millions of families depend on to put food on the table. By siphoning millions of dollars of government funds intended for food insecure households, this criminal alien proved to be one of the worst of the worst. Mm-hmm. A federal grand jury in Portland returned a 16-count indictment charging Spira and his 16 co-conspirators. Well, who's the co-conspirators? I wonder who the co-conspirators are. I'd like to know. I would really like to know who the co-conspirators are. Yeah. Who flung poo? Mm-hmm. Butt cam for Bella. All right, I'll fix it. I didn't realize she moved again. Better. You wrote brown spots on the wall. Cool. Constipation in Chinese is hung chow. Maybe. I don't know. Bella's moving a lot tonight, guys. I don't know why. She's very movie tonight. It's movie night for Bella. She's gonna keep moving. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Okay. Just so everyone knows, just so everyone's aware, we only got about 10 minutes left on the goal. So anything after that 10 minutes is going to be extra time for people to donate if they want the show to continue for another hour. But I think we got about 20 more minutes of the show, just saying. I think we're going to go, if we don't hit the goal, I'll go to about 3.5 hours. So you must have missed the memo about times being an asterisk instead of an X. I don't know what that means. YouTube, Krekka? KPT star? What? Yeah, and Doge says that this case proves exactly why the Meals Act of 2025 is bureaucratic theater. It mandates security measures against EBT skimming, yet Oregon's sanctuary policies let foreign nationals like Spira exploit loopholes for years. The $2.4 million stolen from SNAP funded by taxpayers, while the same bill allocates $40 front. So yeah, just going to replace the money stolen. Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. Yeah. Wang Chung it, yeah. Everybody have fun tonight. Yeah, so instead of fixing the fraud, they just gave more money for the fraud. Wow. DHS spent months tracking. Did somebody raid us or something? Something happened? We just jumped up in viewers like a very substantial amount there. Well, I thought we did. Seemed like we did. Mm-hmm. DHS spent months tracking 122,000 pounds of black market goods when real solutions require biometric verification and deportation first policies. Every dollar wasted on replacement programs is a dollar stolen from citizens who followed the rules. Secure the system, then secure the border. The receipts on the policy failures and taxpayer losses are all here. Then we got, I wanted to see this because it says, it says, Laura and Rod, why don't you report on the facts? 13 illegal aliens with criminal histories, including DUI, battery, causing bodily harm, and domestic violence were arrested in a targeted immigration enforcement operation. You should be thanking the brave men and women of federal law enforcement for removing the public safety threats from the crime-ridden streets of Chicago. Under President Trump and Secretary Noem, if you break the law, you will face consequences. Criminal illegal aliens are not welcome in the United States. It says, 12 vendors from the Swaparama were arrested by masked federal agents, according to community members. So, so they had the names of these people who were fucking criminals, so they went and got them. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're going and getting criminals. If it wasn't easy for them to stay and live comfortably, they would leave. That's right. They would go home. Nick? I don't know. No, I mean, it's possible maybe because Nick went to his Nick said he was going to go members only, so maybe people that weren't members to Nick came over here. Yeah, he's members only now, so he just went members only. So maybe that's what happened. We'll see. We shall see. Mm-hmm. Bella licked her paws. Is licking her paws. All right, I'll have to zap her. Let me get my thing to zap her here. What's going on here? That's better for Bella. All right. So, ICE operations Chicago targeting 13 illegal aliens with criminal records. These aren't random warrants. When DHS acts, what the hell's going on? I think YouTube might be getting some kind of problem. It's not me. I have my speed test is you had the spinning wheel. Yeah, there was some problem. I think it was YouTube. Jim got rated. All right. Yeah, something going on. I'm back now. Yeah, sorry. I'll go back a little bit and talk a little more about it, and we'll fix it. It's the damn commies.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Wanging it. That's right. So it's not me. So Chicago, so we'll go like this. ICE operations Chicago targeting 13 illegal aliens with criminal records, DUI, battery, domestic violence. These aren't random vendors. They're convicted threats removed from the streets under federal warrants. When DHS acts, it's based on law. It's not politics. Compare that to the last administration's catch and release chaos. No more sanctuary city shields. If you commit crimes here illegally, you're gone. Period. End of story. Chicago's crime crisis demands enforcement, not performative outrage. Support the agents risking their lives to protect communities from these repeat offenders. You thought it was your computer? It does it at midnight? Maybe. I don't know. Bella's licking again. Bella, stop licking. Stop your licking. Stop it. Stop it, girl. We got this story, which I saw, which I was like, this is crazy. A wanted murderer from Mexico was living freely in Virginia thanks to Abigail Spanberger ally Steve Descano, who released him twice. How many more chances does Abigail think killers deserve? Yeah, this guy right here. That ICE finally went and got a murderer off the streets. We're just supposed to let that go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see right here. Failure to carry exhibit license, evasion of a traffic, no driver's license. This guy, he's a murderer. Been arrested multiple times. This one wants men in your daughter's bathrooms and volleyball games, and this one wants your daughter dead if you run against her. Just remember that. These two people. That's who they are. That's who they are. This says Democrats are fighting to keep child rapists in America. Birds of a feather. Lots of dog licks their paws when it's allergy season. Yeah, she has allergy medication though that she's on. It's not supposed to fix the problem. We'll see. We'll see. Well. Pennington County, South Dakota, right? Last month, Isidro Gomez Santantes was arrested for rape, less than 13 years old. He's on an immigration detainer hold. Oh, you know, look at this. Oh, race, white. Good. These white people got to stop raping. Whiteies. Stop raping all these kids, whiteies. This is crazy. Gomez Santos, Isidro Gomez Santos. Stop doing the rapes. The Democrat Party has chosen to become a satanic murder cult. Democrats chose to put these criminals on the streets where you and your kids walk, in the parks where you and your kids play, in the restrooms where your kids use, the schools you and your kids attend. Democrats brought the criminals here with your tax dollars. Democrats pay these criminals with your tax dollars. Democrats feed these criminals with your tax dollars. Democrats shut down the government to provide health care to these criminals with your tax dollars. Democrats house these criminals in five-star hotels with your tax dollars. Democrats sue you with your tax dollars to keep these criminals near you and your kids. Democrats pay for the protests and riots to protect these criminals with your tax dollars. Democrat DAs refuse to prosecute these criminals, violent crimes, to keep them near you and your kids. Democrat judges immediately release these criminals if they are arrested to keep them near you and your kids. So many choices the Democrat Party make to hurt and kill Americans. The Democrat Party chose to increase their violence rhetoric against President Trump, and he was shot, and they increased it again after Charlie Kirk was killed. The Democrat Party chose to hate you and your kids. The Democrat Party chose to want you and your kids dead. The Democrat Party choices tell you who they are. Believe the Democrat Party when they tell you who they are. Raped and murdered by illegal invaders. Rachel Marin, Lisbeth Medina, Laken Riley, Jocelyn Nungary. Dallas County, Texas. Two men have been arrested in connection with last Saturday's triple murder of a father and son. Pedro Lada Roa and Pedro Lada, as well as an unidentified third person. One of the suspects, Rayan Josio Pineda Ayala, has an immigration detainer. Yeah, let's take away the security for Congress and their families. Maybe they'll get their act together. It's all facts. Here he is. MCSO number 687149. And it says he's eye color. Oh, look at race, white. White male, 23. Another white guy. All these white guys. Capital murder. Got to get all these white guys out of here. They're doing it. You know what? Now I understand. Now I get it. You know, now I understand what the media means when they say that white supremacy, that all these white people are killing all, and the biggest danger to America is these white people. Look at them. This is the media coverage of it right here. Two arrested for a triple murder, one on immigration detainer. Oh, look at another two white guys.
28-year-old Jimmy Casares Lieva and 23-year-old Brian Pineda Ayala both booked Tuesday morning in the Montgomery County Jail just north of Houston and charged with capital murder of multiple people. The two on the run since October 5th. That early Sunday morning, Dallas police responded to a shooting in West Dallas off Bernal Drive. 3 people were found dead, including father and son, 47-year-old Pedro Lara Roa and 21-year-old Pedro Lara. A third victim, who police have not identified, was found inside a white van crashed out in the Lara's front fence.
I don't know them. I didn't recognize the guy in the van. I know my dad and brother didn't know them. They were just trying to help.
Josue Lara, who was home at the time, believes his younger brother and father woke up and went to check on the driver of the van.
They heard a loud crash, and they came outside to try to help. Maybe call the cops. Maybe they didn't know if the driver was badly injured, but that's all that happened. They were asleep.
The Lara family still wondering what happened prior to the crash and why the 2 suspects would open fire on their family members. Police haven't released those details or any motive.
Yeah, Janet says that's how they fudge the crime stats to make whites look more criminal. I don't know. Do you think they would do that? Do you think they would intentionally do that? I mean, it's weird, too, that if you look at the crime stats, they only list white and black. Kind of weird, right? Makes you think that there's only 2 types of crime, white crime or black crime. I don't know. I do know. I saw a stat somewhere. I don't know if it's true or not. So that actual murder stats, like that per capita, black women commit murder at a higher rate than actually white men. Is that true? Could that be true? I don't know. Ask Rock, maybe. I guess I could ask Rock. We got this from Greenville County, South Carolina. And this is a warning for Mr. Anthony Cumia, who lives in Greenville County, South Carolina. 4 people, 2 adults, and 2 juveniles have been arrested in connection with a double shooting that resulted in the death of Juan Pablo Cortez Perez. Was the Chinese national rapist listed as white? I did not see any stats on that. They probably, I don't know, they probably listed him as Asian, maybe. I don't know. But who knows? Maybe white Asian, maybe. Maybe he's a Wasian. He's a Wasian. Mm-hmm. At least one of the accused, Adixon Gutierrez Martinez, has an immigration detainer hold. The suspects were involved in an altercation at the victim's residence. As a result, 2 victims were shot at least once, subsequently wounding 1 victim. Looking for deviants, maybe. Oh, we got this guy here. Let's see. Let's see. This says Hispanic. So they're getting this one right here. So male Hispanic. Possession of a weapon, murder, conspiracy. Investigators with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit made 4 arrests. Yeremy D. Lopez and 2 juveniles were involved. The 2 youths were involved. As a result, 2 victims were shot at least once. Both Adixon Martinez and Yeremy Lopez were charged with murder, possession of a weapon during a violent crime, and conspiracy. The 2 juvenile suspects were charged with conspiracy and accessory. An accessory, man. Here's the media coverage. Ready? We're going to get the media coverage of these.
Bond was denied for 21-year-old Yeremy Lopez. 19-year-old Adixon Gutierrez Martinez was already denied bond. We're told both are facing murder charges, among several other charges as well. Deputies say that shooting happened Monday afternoon at a home on Creektop Court. When deputies got there, they found 2 people who were injured. The coroner says 17-year-old Juan Cortez Pais died at the hospital. Deputies also say 2 juveniles were arrested and charged in connection to the shooting as well. Bond was denied for 21-year-old.
You want to know to the degree with this exists? The degree of what? With the racial stats being skewed? I think it's pretty bad, to tell you the truth. That's my thing. Yumpin' Yemeni Yeremy, yes. The standard deviation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We got this. We got illegal alien sentenced for their role in a scheme that stole $2.4 million in SNAP benefits.
An Italian man living illegally in Oregon has been sentenced to 2 years in federal prison for his involvement in a multi-state scheme that stole more than $2.4 million.
Okay. All right. Did you just hear what he just said? This guy stole $2.4 million in SNAP benefits. All right. This was the story. This was in a misplaced. This was supposed to be in that with that other thing that we were talking about earlier. It was a couple pages before. But this guy stole $2.4 million in SNAP benefits from the federal government. All right. And he got 2 fucking years. George Santos stole $57,000 and he got 7 years. Is there a difference? How do you have the smarts to pull that off but not get your citizenship? They don't want citizenship. They're here to rob us. They don't want to be citizens. They want to live under the radar. They want to rob us blind. That's what they want to do. USAID will eventually crash. Economy will crash. Maybe. So let's go back. Let's listen. Ready?
Legally in Oregon has been sentenced to 2 years in federal prison for his involvement in a multi-state scheme that stole more than $2.4 million in SNAP benefits. 29-year-old Giovanni Spirera and his co-conspirators used skimming devices to steal EBT card data from low-income families and then used clone cards to buy thousands of pounds worth of goods in Oregon, Washington, and California. The items were resold on the black market. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and must pay nearly $62,000 in restitution. An Italian man
Why only $62,000 in restitution if he stole $2.4 million? Yeah. This was supposed to be with this when I pulled this up from Andy No, but I don't know how it got fucked up. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Then we got this one right here. It says the suspect who allegedly struck and killed another driver while fleeing from police has been arrested 36 times previously, according to state records. Where's his picture? The guy that stole the money? It's back further. I could pull it up if you want. Suspects charged with 8 counts, including felony murder. Okay. Yeah. When a man does 6 or 7 crimes, we don't know his life story. Maybe he was hungry. Therefore, I have zero desire to jail him. This is what the mayor of Seattle says. All right. So this guy who was arrested, what does it say here? 36 times. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Ready? What do you see? So here, suspect.
Such a young life taken away from us. High emotions inside the Pierce County Courthouse Thursday. As a young man came face to face with the suspect deputies say killed his girlfriend, 20-year-old Paula Parble.
He shouldn't be out. He shouldn't be free. He took the life of a woman that I love very much.
Her family members called on the judge to keep 47-year-old Donald Ronan behind bars.
I don't want no bail for him. He should be sentenced to life.
Paula was a student at Pacific Lutheran University. She worked at a daycare and is remembered as being hardworking and ambitious. She was on her way to class when she was killed.
She went to PLU. She studied criminal justice because of people they killed.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says Wednesday morning a deputy tried to pull Ronan over because of a Department of Corrections warrant for violating community custody conditions. He was just released from jail in August for burglary-related charges. When the deputy tried to pull him over, he fled and within 30 seconds ran a red light at 80 miles per hour, crashing into Paula's car.
Oh, crash. You just crashed. You just hit me.
Ronan tried to run away on foot, but was quickly caught. Court documents show deputies say he was not taking accountability after the crash, saying he told them, "You guys could have backed off too. You guys could have not chased me." If there's anything that's regretful, it's his parents birthing him. I hope
that he sees her face even when he sleeps. He doesn't deserve to be here. She deserves to be here.
Deputies also found drug paraphernalia in Ronan's car, and they believe he was high at the time of the crash. And there were 2 other people inside Ronan's car. One of them is currently in a coma. In Tacoma, Connor Board, King 5 News.
Wow. That's crazy. Hold on. I had something pulled up. Something else pulled up. The wrong person died. Nick Fuentes is right. I don't know what's right about what. He says a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm sure he's right about some stuff, but I don't think he's right about everything. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. So yeah, so the suspect in the fatal crash was charged with 8 criminal counts, including felony murder. The 20-year-old victim, identified as Pablo Alneriero, was pronounced dead at the scene. A drug recognition expert concluded that Ron was likely under the influence of one or more substances. Well, that's what they'll do is they'll actually, that's why, like a lot of these places, they don't chase people anymore because they say like, oh, if you chase them and the criminal kills somebody, it's going to be the cop's fault somehow or something. So we got this story, which I thought was crazy. This radical leftist has been arrested and charged with multiple felony counts. These terrorists are finally facing consequences.
Kenosha man is in custody accused of posting videos threatening federal agents. Andrew Stanton is facing several charges, including threats to kidnap, assault, or murder a U.S. official. Videos discovered by the investigative team at our sister station in Milwaukee show the suspect encouraging people to shoot immigration agents. Kenosha man is in custody accused of posting.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. And here, when y'all's bodies lay motionless on the ground, ice patch facing up in the sky, we're going to loot your corpses. This kind of crazy person said. All right? This guy said some crazy shit. He got arrested.
When y'all's bodies lay motionless on the ground, ice patches.
Yeah, so, anyway. We got this. African Americans claim they are going after ICE agents after hearing about the cartel's $50,000 bounties for them. Yikes.
Blessed that these hoes on my dick because I'm fly like a jet. They gonna be surprised when they see I made this beat.
I don't know if this is true or not because they're not saying anything. They just have music playing over and then somebody put these words on, the captioning on it. So I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's, how true it is. So I don't know. And I got this. Somebody sent me out. I'm going to pull up real quick just because, let's see.
In America today, we have white supremacy. In the Torah, we had Amalek. Amalek is seen as the eternal enemy of our people, whose members found strength by making us suffer. Therefore, when the Lord your God grants you safety from all your enemies around you, and the land that the Lord your God is giving to you as a hereditary portion, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget. Our rabbinic sages parse these sentences and derive 2 distinct meanings. Blotting out the memory of Amalek is a military command, literally to destroy Amalek. Now facing today's Amalek, we are reminded that the Torah calls us not just to escape, but to extirpate Amalek. We are commanded to do real and literal battle against it. That means coming off the bench in the fight against white supremacy. It means putting our reputations and our money and our physical bodies on the line. But also so that we are ready to answer people with radically destructive and incoherent versions of history, so that we can counter white supremacists, so that we can counter Amalek and blot them out by retaining on our lips and in our records their history. By being bearers of history, we can help guide the future. Blotting out Amalek need not merely be about military conquest. Equally important is ideological victory. And nothing could more readily
Hey,
capture
Mark, how
white
you doing?
supremacy than a Jewish community proudly helping our Muslim neighbors. There is nothing that undermines a white supremacist worldview more than diverse communities getting along and building together towards the future.
I'm going to ask Joe about this. This guy openly talks about genociding white people or bringing in Muslims. We are the Amalek to these Jewish supremacists. I'm going to have to ask Joe about this, what his opinion is. I'm going to save this. I'm going to bookmark this. I'm going to ask Joe about this. Mm-hmm. This guy tarded? I don't know. It seems pretty weird. Like, what they're talking about white supremacy, and then they're talking about bringing in Muslims. I mean, isn't the Muslims the ones killing all the Jews? I'm confused. Yeah. Well, I know today is Shabbat, but I'm talking about. I'm going to send that to Joe and say, what the fuck is this? So, what does this mean? Is this actually in there? Andrew Zaborski, a PA state trooper, is suing the state police, alleging he was fired because he's white. Zaborowski was fired after arresting a former Pennsylvania LGBTQ director and her trans husband, who screamed they were targeted because they're black.
That is my husband. That's my husband. That's my husband, please.
It's okay, baby.
That is my husband.
Why are you doing this? It's okay. Go, baby. It's okay.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get hit. Do not. I work for the mayor. I work for the mayor.
I work for the mayor.
Work for the mayor.
Go. Please, just stop. No. It's because I'm black.
Would you please?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Turn around. Give me your hand. Or you're dead, kid. Stay right there. I am. I can't go anywhere. Delete it. It's okay, baby.
Don't worry. Well, I don't know why this is happening.
It's okay.
Stay
It's
calm.
okay.
We ain't done nothing
I
wrong.
know. It's fine.
We ain't done nothing.
It's
He
fine.
just punched me.
I saw
He just
everything.
punched me.
I saw everything. I hope you're thinking doing. Just stop. It's okay.
What is going on?
Stay right there.
Why are you so
It's okay.
aggressive?
Please, somebody help.
Why are you so
34.
aggressive?
Please.
Can you close that door?
34. I didn't even roll up. I didn't want you to get pulled over.
Babe.
I didn't watch you get pulled over. Well, they got pulled over. An officer got fired for detaining somebody, reinstated with a promotion, remove whatever BS made-up job the screaming banshee is doing for the mayor. Yeah, exactly. You know. Yeah, you got a simple choice to make: be conquered, enslaved, raped, and genocided while being called racist, or reclaim our nations and our dignity while being called racist. It's that simple. My reparations solution is pay $100,000 only if, one, revoke American citizenship, deport back to. I don't know. I mean, if genitals don't define gender, how does removing them reaffirm it? That's a good question. That's one of them things, like the chicken or the egg. All right, someone else sent me this. It says a 15-year-old in Charlotte, North Carolina, has just been arrested for his 111th time. So this guy, this 15-year-old, has been arrested more times than the years Bilbo Baggins had birthdays in the Shire. Because if you remember, Bilbo Baggins had a 111th birthday. And then he put the ring on and disappeared. So this 15-year-old has been arrested more times than Bilbo Baggins had birthdays in 15 years. That's crazy. Wow. 111th time. Just since August of 2023. Averaging one arrest every 4 days.
Who has been arrested 111 times since August of 2023. Arrests included 55 car thefts and stealing from cars 45 times. At one point, police found multiple guns on the teen and took a phone as evidence. They say they found various Google searches on it, including, what is the charge for killing an officer? Is police murder a charge? And what is capital murder? Police say the 15-year-old was most recently released again in September.
You just can't just say, we're going to let you back out to your mom or to your home if the home is broken, without holding the home accountable. There's no accountability right now.
Who has been arrested one.
Wow. Time to lock him up. I think maybe this is what Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was talking about, being disabled. Yeah. Here's the judicial system. Yeah. Look at that. Here's the girl, the refugee from Ukraine sitting on the train, and the judicial system is going to stab her in the back while the media and the Democrats just keep their mouth and eyes closed. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. It says no context. It says, when do I become a threat? This is the thing that I was talking about here. It says black female murders per 100,000, 8.7. This says white male murderers per 100,000, 5.2. This is from the national, the FBI numbers. So, are we saying that this number, this chart ain't accurate? Mm-hmm. The 112 times will teach him. Our nation is broken, and I'm not sure it can be fixed. I don't know. 15 years old. When is the state going to say this kid needs a detention and corrections? I don't know. This was this thing I was talking about. I knew I had saw that chart before. Yes, it can be fixed. It can. You would need to fix it like one time, once and for all, like some way, like, I don't know. What would that be called? Like in a final way? I don't know. You have a lot of ideas. Is anything accurate? I don't know. I don't know if this is accurate or not. This is something somebody put on internet. So that probably does not include numbers of death that can be attributed to black women using others, including 5 to kill people who got them pissed. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's complete ground world. Yeah, it is. Oh yeah. And here's the DA Larry Krasner making excuses, saying, "Listen, we could have done better." Speaking publicly for the first time on why Phil Deo, the district attorney's office, dismissed the kidnapping case against Keon King earlier this year, before King was charged with the second kidnapping of the still missing Kata Scott. Yeah. So they dismissed the kidnapping charge, and now the guy kidnapped someone else.
We could have done better in that a really sophisticated approach to the case would have been to try to put it all on with video evidence. That is not usually. We could have done better in that a really sophisticated approach to the case would have been to try to put it all on with video evidence. That is not usually an easy thing to do. I would say with 20/20 hindsight, it's something that could have been done, and I own that. I mean, ultimately, the buck stops here. It's not my job to throw other people under the bus. If there's a decision that is poor, and I believe that that was an incorrect decision, then we have to own it, and we have to try to do better moving forward. We could have done better in that.
Oh, we got this. We got it. Astronaut drives the wrong way, gestures at cops, and acts surprised, and says he just needs gas before getting tased. Michigan police believe the driver was armed with a handgun connected with a domestic violence case. The driver passed several oncoming cars and semi-trucks, made a gesture at the patrol car. He drove up the grass between the highway and the entrance ramp. After exiting the car, he continued gesturing, threw his hat on the ground, walked a few steps, and raised his hands. Police deployed the taser. The driver was taken into custody and handed over to the Bath Township Police. Let's see.
Back through hit one.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Turn around, hands up! Hands up!
All follow unit 2, clear, foot back around. Right lane, cease 105. Back through hit one. What was it? Head on. We're going to be going eastbound wrong way. Eastbound wrong way. Clear, eastbound wrong way. Eastbound wrong way. Westbound and eastbound lanes coming up to Fowlerville. Westbound and the eastbound lanes coming up to Fowlerville. 4012, get on that ramp and block it off. Sun is clear, westbound, eastbound lanes. 093, I'm in the left lane, eastbound. Clear, eastbound left lane. Going the wrong way, getting off at Fowlerville now, in the grass area. Coming to Fowlerville. Clear, coming to Fowlerville. 37, pit. Stop. Confirming pit.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Turn around, hands up! Hands up! Get on the ground! 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 You got him? Get around! Get on! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
That's funny. That's funny. So, yeah, and I'm sure that cops probably got fired for abuse or something like that. Why'd you do that baby like that? He didn't do nothing. That's right. He didn't do nothing. Do this to his car. It's over, buddy. Yeah, pick up the car. That's what they should do. I actually live in Michigan and used to drive right through Bath Township when I worked in East Lansing. This is wild AF. In related news, he'll be released with zero consequences. It would never cross my mind, even wasted as shit, to do anything that's remotely retarded. How do any of them survive to adulthood? Yeah. So it's crazy. It is. So, all right. Yes, with that, on that note, I think, there it is. Just tase his ass. That's right. A scholar and a gentleman. Zap. With that note, I'm going to say it's the ignorant masses who don't do research and just browse headlines. The average user gets pushed into the leftist echo chamber, so we abuse that basically. This is a system, and like any system, we can exploit it. Oh, sounds good to me, man. I think we'll take care of it. Let's just say, Salam alaikum UNC. Oh, alaikum salam. Salami and bacon. I don't know. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. How are you? I am good. How are you? You are good? We are good. With that, on that note, we've gone for 3 hours and 50 minutes. So we did not reach the goal for the additional hour. Alhamdulillah. We did not reach the additional hour, so I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. I'm going to send you over to see Pat Dixon if you're on YouTube, so say hi to him. He's probably playing some songs, looking at some stuff. I'll see you all again Saturday night for Jim to tell you the news, so come on back. Same bad time, same bad channel, 10 p.m. Eastern time for the news. Peace. Hey, Gundam, if you want to raid out Rumble, go right ahead. Good night, Fox.